Injury Lawyers.
Good morning. It's 7 a.m. on Thursday, April the 8th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect sunny skies with a high of 86. Coming up today on Off the Bench, presented by All-Star Toyota, LSU Athletics Executive Chef Michael Johnson joins us at 7:30 to answer your Munchie questions, so get those into the Bayou 40 YouTube chat. LSU head softball coach Beth Torina stops by at 8 a.m., and LSU head baseball coach Paul Mainieri will be here at 8:30. Rivers Huey sits in for the third hour. Follow the show today on Twitter and Instagram on OTB_ESPN. Watch live at the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Interact inside the Bayou 4 chat. And catch us on Cox Sports Television. Hour number 1 of Off the Bench starts right now.
Let we go!
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah!
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo.
Yo. What up, y'all? Off the Bench. It is Thursday. T-Bob, Jake Musso, and Danny hanging out with you today. Let's go. Masters Day. You know, Moose is excited for all you golf heads out there. Congratulations. This is something akin to a holiday for y'all. Coverage already starting to crank up. We'll continue throughout the day. We'll get to it. I know here on Team OTB, we are all Team Bryson DeChambeau. One and all, we are united in this. We cannot wait to watch DeChambeau put on that green jacket when it's all said and done. It's going to be fantastic. Moose, they're going to have to tailor it to be a little extra swole, though, right? I mean, they're going to have to make sure that it fits in them buys.
Who?
You didn't hear anything I just said?
No, who?
But you agree with it?
No,
Perfect.
I don't know what
Excellent.
you said.
All right, he definitely agrees, right? I agree. Yep. All right, Jake, how you doing today?
Doing good. Feeling good. I mean, even though I'm not a golf guy per se, the Masters is something we can all get behind.
Yeah, exactly. It's big enough where it sucks you in, even if you don't generally care weekend to weekend like we do. I will have it on at the house today, 2 to 6. A little background noise, beautiful landscaping, the azaleas, the music. Nance, it's great. Actually, is Nance on the call today on ESPN? He is. Okay, there you go. Thank you, Matthew Musso. Noted Bryson DeChambeau fan. Yep. Let's go ahead and dive into some headlines brought to you by Barbecue Guys.
OTB headlines are brought to you by Barbecue Guys. They're your one-stop shop for everything outdoor kitchens and living. Barbecue Guys, helping America host better barbecues since 1998.
As I said, it is Masters Day. It is finally here, the first round at Augusta. Coverage has already started on ESPN Plus. If you want to check it out, it looks like it's some on ESPN as well. As we said, Bryson DeChambeau, off the bench's favorite golfer going into this tournament. He's going to tee off at 12:30 today. We're defending champ Dustin Johnson will tee off at 10:30. ESPN's main broadcast will be 2 to 6 or 1 to 5 maybe Central Time this afternoon. That'll be for today and tomorrow before it switches over to CBS on the weekend. Either way, going to be a fantastic few days as the Master back in its regular time with some patrons. So the slow trickle to normalcy continues. But yeah, like I said, for me, this is just going to be fun to keep on in the background and kind of follow from afar until maybe I lock it in on Sunday if it's a tight race.
Yeah, no Tiger Woods, which always feels a little odd when he's not there. And obviously, we remember, last time he won it, that was, very unexpected, and it was epic, and it kind of drew everybody in, even if you weren't already watching the Masters. But still, it's the Masters. We'll watch. Patrons, like you mentioned, will be allowed back in, which makes that golf tournament, like, when they're there, it's even different than every other tournament because you can feel the energy that's in the air.
Yeah, it looks fantastic, man. So we'll cover it throughout the weekend. The New Orleans Pelicans already aren't that good. So when you're missing then Brandon Ingram, Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Josh Hart, and Kyra Lewis Jr., and you're going against a Nets team that is something more akin to an all-star team than a traditional NBA team, you're going to struggle. And it's no surprise that in Kevin Durant's return, scoring 17 and 19 minutes after missing over 20 games, the Nets dominate the New Orleans Pelicans 139-111. After last week, it is starting to feel like the Pelicans are almost firmly in lottery mode. That'll be for the fourth year in a row. They are now 2 games out of the 10th seed. But, yeah, they were pretty horrible last night. They gave up 79 points in the first half, which is pretty wild. They're the first team over the last 4 seasons to allow over 60% on threes for 3 halves in a row. And Zion's legendary 20-point streak finally came to an end. 25 games in a row, Big Z had scored over 20 on over 50% shooting. Last night finally has a human night as he scores just 16 on 4-12.
I mean, they really looked like they were stuck in the mud. They made Blake Griffin look like he was in his prime almost a couple of times. It kind of tells you what the speed of the game looked like for them compared to the Nets. There was like nothing good to take from this game. Like even when Zion and that streak breaks, like, everyone had a really bad game. And I'm a big fan of the plus minuses when you look at them. Oh boy.
Yeah, it's one of those things where although they could still make that 10th play in, and that's a 10th seeded play in, like that's relatively interesting. For the most part, you're only going to keep paying attention to this team if you're in it for the long haul. I don't think there's going to be any rewards at the end of this season. I think this season is going to finish as a complete disappointment. I still like the long-term future. We can talk about it more a bit later. But yeah, here is Stan Van Gundy on last night's loss.
We haven't played well defensively. We haven't played well. And here's the thing, I've said to our guys, right, all these young guys, you've got to prove you can help a team play well and win. It's not about going out and making some shots, which is what all young guys think, and putting up numbers. Can we put you out there and, we can get some fight defensively and you do the right thing? We did not, and I take my hit on this too, we didn't have them ready tonight defensively at all, and we just did not make a stand at all in that game. Offensively, we played well in the first quarter, and then after that, it was, it was just all over. I mean, we just didn't fight, and we all, me included, coaches, players, have to take responsibility for that, and it's inexcusable. We can come up with some reasons, but it's still inexcusable.
So you're playing the Brooklyn Nets, who are basically, like you mentioned, an all-star team. Even without James Harden, they still have Aldridge, Kyrie Irving, Durant, Blake Griffin. I mean, we could go down the list. And you didn't have them ready defensively to play that team?
Well, I mean, look, the we played bad defensively that's there's death, taxes, and Van Gundy saying they played poorly defensively after the game. I mean, that is just what it is at this point. It's like how Alvin Gentry every night, it was like we played with bad energy. That was the old, every single game you would hear that. Every single game this season, nearly every game, you hear about how poor they were defensively. I mean, again, we've talked about it, but coaching in the NBA is weird. And so when you look at a Pelicans team that had almost no offensive and defensive rating change going from Alvin Gentry to Stan Van Gundy, who are supposed to be polar opposites on the offensive defensive spectrum, it's like, okay, well, what do y'all actually do? Like what is actually going on? So yeah, look, it's been a really disappointing year for the Pelicans. The disappointment just continues to grow. Except that you figured out about Point Zion. That maybe is where the hope for the future comes in. It's LSU basketball news. Trenton Watford announces that he will enter the 2021 NBA draft after 2 years spent in Baton Rouge, coming over from Alabama. Congratulations to Trenton Watford. Looking forward to what he does at the next level. For me personally, I feel like the timing makes a lot of sense, especially because he kind of went out at the top of his game. When you look at that SEC tournament run, leading SEC to nearly an SEC tournament championship, scoring 30 that game, I think 24 against Ole Miss. Trenton Watford, certainly the last game, not what he would have hoped, but it makes sense for him that it was time to move on, and it's exactly what Will Wade expected.
Yeah, you got an actual extra year probably from what you thought when he initially signed with. You thought he's a one-and-done guy. You get him for 2, and he showed up at the end last year. There's no question about it. You mentioned it, the SEC tournament there. So, look, a lot of these guys, we're about to probably have a lot of these in headlines that these guys are going to the NBA draft. I mean, we're expecting all of the big four to go to the NBA draft. So, not unexpected, but, Trenton Watford did good things here.
In LSU baseball news, the Tigers will have TBA for the Sunday starter this week, and it'll likely be Helmers, Edwards, or Money. But like Coach Mainieri is saying, they're basically going to go all in on these first 2 games, see what's kind of left over for Sunday. He did say, though, that Garrett Edwards has been advocating to give him the start.
he wants badly to be that third starter. I can tell you that. He texted me the other day after the game and he was really politicking for it. He believes he can give us 5+ innings, and he's got a lot of confidence in himself, and he displays that when he's out there on the mound. So, I didn't really converse with him after the game. I just kind of gave him a pat on the back and told him nice job, and he did do a nice job.
I like that. Out of Garrett Edwards, I like that sort of confidence. It remains to be seen if that confidence results in positive outcomes.
Yeah.
But it can't hurt. I want somebody who wants that Sunday role. That said, Garrett Edwards may be used best in getting wins in those first 2 games, and really that's where the mindset is. Get those wins however you can, and then see what's left over on Sunday.
That's what makes this a little unique in the fact that someone who's possibly going to start on Sunday might need to be used to close out one of the first 2 games because, he's been a back into the bullpen type guy. Not to say he can't start. We've seen him do it before, but that was his role, and now you're having to kind of dig deep into the bag to find someone to start on Sunday. So either way, you're probably going to lose something, right? If he's your Sunday guy, you're going to lose a guy at the back end of your games that you kind of trust, and then if he doesn't start on Sunday, and if he was the best option, then you lose there as well.
Yeah, and we'll see how it plays out in Kentucky this weekend. LSU softball, another week, another ranked matchup for them. They will travel to Missouri to take on number 19, Missouri up there in Columbia. Game 1 set for 6:30 p.m. Game 2 on Saturday, 2 p.m., and Game 3 on Sunday at 1 p.m. In LSU women's golf, the women's golf team wins the LSU Tiger Golf Classic. They're number 4 in the nation, and they win, finishing 12 under at the U Club Golf Course. And, of course, it was Ingrid Lindblad who led the way once again, earning her 2nd consecutive college title of the season, 4th of her career after she finishes the tournament at 5 under. In beach volleyball news, Taryn Cloth and Kristen Nuss were named CCSA Beach Pair of the Week Wednesday after improving to 22-0 on the season. So LSU may have lost to UCLA and split with USC, but Cloth and Nuss went undefeated throughout. And in beating both the pairings from UCLA and USC, they beat the defending Pac-12 Pair of the Week, they beat multiple All-Americans, and they beat a qualified Tokyo Olympian. So basically, they came out of last weekend out there in LA as the undisputed best pair in the entire nation. Shout out to Taryn Cloth and Kristen Nuss. Some news that is kind of LSU related. Out of Arizona, Sean Miller has been fired as the men's basketball coach. The reason why I say kind of is because when you've looked at some of the NCAA scandal drama when it comes to paying players, et cetera, it was Sean Miller and Will Wade a lot of times that were kind of some of the lead names mentioned. It looks like after much thought and a self-imposed 1-year postseason ban, Arizona has decided to move on and kind of hit the reset button. It remains to be seen what LSU will end up doing long-term. There's so much drama around the school in general right now. But Sean Miller out as the Wildcat head coach.
This was a lot about performance as well. Like the allegations and everything circling the program, obviously that makes the decision a little bit easier.
Yeah.
But let's not kid ourselves. If Arizona would have been UCLA this year in the run they went on from the Pac-12, then he's still the coach. Right.
They had a postseason ban this year. They had self-imposed. But you just mean you're talking about regular season success.
Well, I'm just talking about in a normal season. If they would have done that, if they would have had he'd still be the coach. If they had success on the court, but it's coupled with everything that's going around the program.
Yeah, and so they're hitting the reset button over there in Arizona. And finally, LSU in the legislature remains in the news as now all 10 staffers, board members, and lawyers who were asked to testify Thursday before the Senate Select Committee on Women and Children have declined their invitations. Everyone is lawyered up. We talked about this yesterday. Everybody's lawyered up. They sent statements instead. And it makes sense because the Sharon Lewis lawsuit has provided the perfect legal pathway to not go and testify in person. In fact, as LSU's top attorney wrote the committee, quote, "It would not be prudent for persons associated with LSU to provide testimony under oath because they face legal threats from a fellow employee." So again, that Sharon Lewis lawsuit giving the lawyers the perfect reason for nobody to go and testify in person, meaning I don't know what today's hearings will actually end up being or playing out like with nobody to talk to. You said it yesterday. It's just all very embarrassing, and LSU's name continues to just kind of lose steam and lose shine every single day. Those are your headlines. Brought to you by Barbecue Guys. Coming up next, let's talk a little Masters and look forward to the sports weekend that will be. Remember, we got Paul Mainieri and Beth Torina coming up hour number 2. Rivers stopping in hour number 3, and Chef Johnson at 7:30. If you want to get your Munchies questions in, this is Off the Bench on OTB.
OTB headlines are presented daily by Barbecue Guys. Remember, the most popular grill on the market is Blaze Grills. Premium gas grills that combine expert engineering and dependable performance. All backed by a best-in-class lifetime warranty. Visit barbecueguys.com or our local showroom to learn more about Blaze Grills. Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Go to Donisville Glass and Body. That's DonisvilleGlassandBody.com or DGBAuto.com. If you're trying to extend the life of your vehicle, maximize it, right? DG&B can do that. And it's because they literally do it all. It's a one-stop car shop. Tires, wheels, brakes, glass repair, collision repair. The body shop's second to none. It's the best in the state. It's why if you get in an accident, you must go to Donisville Glass and Body. They'll actually pick you up, fix your vehicle, and then drop it back off to you. The towing in that is all completely free. But I even go in there for like oil changes. You need an inspection sticker. Whatever your car needs are, let DG&B provide you the answers. And the best part, Jacob, you can trust them.
Oh, there's no question about that. Like I mentioned, like when my car had an issue, a lot of things they could have done. They could have just fixed it all and said, hey, here's the bill at the end. But they didn't do that. They called me, went through the checklist of what was going wrong, and made sure it was okay to proceed with the work.
That's right, because they know that if you leave satisfied, you'll be back. I can testimony that. So can many others. Go to dgbauto.com.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bayou Ford is open for business, and we want to earn your business. Stop in and see our selection of the latest Ford cars and trucks, as well as a variety of quality pre-owned vehicles, with prices starting as low as $5,000. Bayou Ford will get you the transparent information you're looking for, and when you're ready to purchase your new vehicle, provide the professional service you deserve. Located off I-10 on Belterre Boulevard in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Hey, that's me. Inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Full hour of football talk with Mike Detillier. We inch closer to the NFL draft and LSU spring game. Join us 3 to 6. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. OTB, T-Bob, Jake Musso, and Danny hanging out with you today. A bit of a long headlines there, but there's a lot to get to. Right here, I think I want to talk a little Pelicans. I just want to talk a little Masters, kind of get where everybody's heads are at. Our guy Matthew Musso, probably the biggest golf fan in the room right now. Moose, how are you feeling about today, man? You feeling good? You feeling excited?
Yes, man, very excited. It'll be. I mean, it's always a great 4 days.
So as I said during headlines, or really before headlines, here on Team OTB, we are all in unanimous agreement that we are cheering for Bryson DeChambeau. It's going to be fantastic when they have to retailor that jacket to fix his incredibly masculine physique. Danny, great job here. I mean, if you're a meathead, this video will make you fall in love with Bryson DeChambeau. Moose, outside of our guy, BD, who else are you kind of cheering for? Who are you supporting this weekend?
Bit of a chalky pick for me, but I like Justin Thomas this week. He won a couple weeks ago at the Players. And he is 21 under par in his last 7 rounds at Augusta National, which is second only to Dustin Johnson. So, chalky pick for me, but I like Justin Thomas to win the race.
Is Dustin Johnson the odds-on favorite here?
Actually, I haven't even really looked at the odds, T-Bob, like the actual odds, so yeah. I don't know. I don't think he is. Admittedly from him, his game is not exactly where he wants it to be right now.
And I know Spieth is back near the top after coming off of that much sought-after win last week. So, yeah, man, like we said, I kind of follow from afar. Hopefully some exciting storylines develop. And now I know of nothing more than if DeChambeau did well and just triggered the golf masses.
DeChambeau, he's bro on this show. Remember we said that. You got changed that. And Dustin Johnson are both tied for the best odds.
Oh, so DeChambeau has the top odds moves. How we feel about it,
well,
dude?
I mean, that's pretty impressive because I think he finished tied 49th in November. So that's kind of
he did.
That's something that he has those odds.
I was reading an interview with him because he's got a new secret driver.
After he said it's a par 67 course. How'd that tie 49th figure out for you, big boy?
You know
Get
that
the hell out of here.
You know that he
loser. That's why people don't like him.
Also he's got a new secret driver head this week. He's been waiting to debut. He did have a quote though about look, the power is one element, but Augusta, and this is well known, but it tests you at every single shot, right? Every single putt, anything can go awry at any time. Excited to see how it works out over the next few days.
So they're both plus 950.
I'm sorry. I mean, you don't have any money on any of this, Jake. I mean, you're a resident degenerate. I'm kind of shocked.
If I do bet golf, I like to wait until maybe Saturday morning after we kind of figured it out a little bit, and then I'll try to see, what's someone that's a name. Maybe they're 3-4 strokes off the top there. Let me go ahead and get some better odds. I feel like they're going to make a little bit of a comeback. So I usually wait a little bit before I make any golf bets.
Yeah, you just want to read your lie a little bit.
Yep.
Kind of see which way the green's breaking before you make those bets. That makes sense.
If Justin Thomas or Dustin Johnson or, Brooks Koepka, one of those guys, maybe they're 2-3 off the leaderboard there and they're getting, plus 1,200 or something like that. Yeah, makes more sense for me.
Old Mayo, who the hell is Dustin Johnson? As Vince Sabiza said, he literally just won the Masters 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Which is really weird to say because here we are once again. I did love his meal though that he served everybody. He essentially had pig in the blankets. Now they dressed it up in really nice really nice trappings in terms of the sausage they used and the breading they used. But all it was delicious pig in the blankets. Which I don't know about y'all.
They're delicious.
If you're talking about treats, little snacks, pig in the blankets is top 5 all time for me. I could eat 30, 40, 50 of them things if they're done well.
Yeah, they're delicious.
They're
I'm
incredible.
absolutely with you.
I wonder, there's a tier list somewhere in there that we can maybe figure out. Look, so we're going to look forward to baseball and softball later in the show. The only real local outcome yesterday in the realm of sports were the New Orleans Pelicans. And unfortunately, while yesterday was not expected, when you look at the recent run of play, the recent injuries, this is a Pelicans season that feels lost. And maybe they could pull a rabbit out of their hat. They can get back those 2 games on the Warriors. They can get to the 10th seed, maybe get to some play-in sort of tournament. But even then, well, first off, I don't expect that. And secondly, I wonder, like, I have no faith that if they were to get into play-in, that they would do anything to actually make the real playoffs. So it's, I think it's almost like you could start having the conversation about what this Pelicans season has been, because I don't know that I have a lot of hope for it getting any better. And unfortunately, when it's all said and done, this season was a failure.
Oh, yes.
You should have been better, especially with the Zion that really started to ascend. Now, you did figure out great things. You figured out about Point Zion. And Schmidt Dua had an awesome tweet yesterday where he, through data points, showed how much better Point Zion's literally made everybody on the team, looking at the 2-man games, pre-Point Zion to post-Point Zion. And so you figured things out that bode very well into the long-term future. But again, it's hard to have too much belief in the long-term future when they just continue to disappoint you in the short term. Like, I can only continue selling people on the grand vision for so long before they completely just shut it out.
Yeah, steps should have been made this year that just were not. And I think last year, to be honest with you, was a disappointment. I thought that team was good enough to get into the postseason. And then once they showed up to the bubble, they just absolutely flatlined. And they had no pulse. Okay, so let's come back this year. Let's make a postseason run, because sooner or later you've got to make the postseason to help the franchise get to where you want to be, which is, competing for championships, because you've got generational type guy in Zion. You've got an all-star in B.I. You've got pieces in Ball and Adams, and we could go across the board. The roster on paper looks really good. It's a roster that absolutely should be in the postseason. I mean, this team's not even right now in the postseason. Like, give me a roster that is as good as the Pelicans that's not in the postseason. Outside of them,
I'd have to look. I'm not sure off the top of my head. I mean, I get what you're saying in that generally, if you have two all-stars, you generally do make the postseason. I still think it's a roster that is a little thin, like in terms of production off of the bench. Or maybe consistent. You definitely, like Josh Hart every now and then will come out with like some crazy game, and Kyra Lewis Jr. I guess the main drawback of the roster would be its youth, which again is a reason why maybe you have hope for the long-term future. But like, yeah, they have a much better roster than like the T-Wolves or who are some other teams.
The Knicks are in the playoffs, by the way. Just going to give you an example.
Yeah. And the East makes some of this hard to judge. I mean, right, if the Pelicans were in the East, though, I do think that they would be in the playoffs, but it just...
What makes you think that, though? Because, like, right now, like, there's just...
I just think this has just been a concept for years now, that the competition level in the East just isn't necessarily what it is in the West, even if it's not as extreme as it's been during the Anthony Davis era, where it was like you had multiple losing record playoff teams in the East.
No, and you'll have that in the East. I'm just saying, like, when the Pelicans play a team that they're supposed to beat, that's when they struggle the most, I feel like. I mean, outside of last night, look, the Nets are the Nets, but the Pelicans play down to their competition, and they've been doing it all season long. And then they'll have flashes where they show who they can be, because it's there, because I'll go back to it, the roster. And, I know you have injuries now, but this was happening all season long. When you look at the production that they get from their bench at times, but they don't capitalize on that. Like, so I understand what you're saying about being a thin roster. They're a couple of injuries away from always being a doomsday situation, but this roster should be in the postseason.
Yeah, I mean,
if you give me Memphis or New Orleans roster, I'm going to take New Orleans, but Memphis right now is in the postseason.
Yeah, and to your point, I mean, if you just look at who else you're grouped with, the Kings, Thunder, Rockets, and T-Wolves, the only teams that you're better than, you're right behind the Warriors. Yeah, you got better rosters than without a doubt, the Kings, Thunder, Rockets, and T-Wolves. Nobody's close. But Unfortunately,
I mean, Grayson Allen starts for Memphis.
I mean, these are some of the things that plague New Orleans Pelicans fans. It's where is the kind of disconnect? Why is there seem to be a culture of losing that they just cannot shake? As I said, you go from an offensive coach to a defensive coach, and literally almost nothing changes. In fact, you've even gotten better offensively and worse defensively. So you gave up 79 in the first half last night. So I get it. And I know we've gone long here, and people are like, I don't care about the Pelicans. And you know what? I kind of get that. Like, it's tough for me to tell you have to care about the Pelicans anymore because, quite frankly, they haven't earned that. And that's why I think the entire crux of this conversation is it's kind of like probably time to almost write them off for a year and only talk about them or care about them if you're really down for the long-term cause and seeing these kind of incremental improvements and what pieces you can carry forward, et cetera, et cetera. So,
and
rough
real
night
quick,
for the Pelicans.
I know we do need to move on, but even look at, you mentioned, like, it doesn't really matter who they bring in. The team kind of stays the same. Look at the coaches that have left. Like, look at what Monty's doing. Like, look at the coaches that have gone elsewhere.
Well, firing Monty Williams is it's the biggest mistake that the Pelicans have made. They fired him after making the playoffs in an offseason where Del Dim cited continuity and chemistry and brought all the players back but fired the head coach. Well, how's that for continuity and chemistry? And they've really been paying for that ever since. And Monty Williams has just continued to prove the Pelicans wrong and ascend and is going to be NBA Coach of the Year.
Probably.
This year. And as people in the chat are saying, although I like Stan Van Gundy and I supported the hire, you did hire a guy there wasn't a huge market for. So disappointing times.
Fighting with no one.
Yeah, which is never a good place to be. So that's your disappointing Pelicans of the day. Let's get to some happier news as we do a little Munchies talk with Chef Michael Johnson next. So get your Munchies questions in and we'll answer them here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to GEAUXroof.com. That's GoRoof.com. 927-8300 is the number. If you want to get a free professional estimate, just call them up at 927-8300. When they answer the phone, you can hit him with the roof's up. Make him happy. Give him a little chuckle. But you'll be the one laughing out of satisfaction when they come out to your house and let you know exactly where you stand. It doesn't cost anything up front. It didn't cost anything for them to come out and tell me that wet spot in my roof or ceiling would not actually have to do with a roof. It was a pipe thing, right? But it didn't cost anything because they come out there for free because they care about you, customer service. Once you decide that work does need to be done, of course, everybody's licensed, bonded, and insured, but they go the extra mile and they stand by their work. A 2-year workmanship guarantee on top of the manufacturer warranty. So when you work with Go Roof, what do you get? You get a beautiful new roof every shingle time. Call 927-8300, GEAUXroof.com, 927-8300.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Have you been issued a ticket for texting, speeding, or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225-343-1111 or connect with us online at ocbrown.com.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Can you feel it? Spring is almost here, and if you got a new boat for Christmas or you just want to take your boat to a new level, you want front-to-back boat service, HD displays, live sonar that show the fish before you cast, trolling motors. At Front to Back, they got not one, but two NMEA certified techs for all of your marine electronic needs. How does a brand new speaker system sound? Well, guess what? They do that too. So call 225-928-9644 or go to Front to Back Boat Service.
Sports wouldn't be the same without the die-hard fans. That's why we're highlighting the fans.
Tune into a Thursday edition of Game Time, live from Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, presented by Bet Rivers, and we're talking Masters on the opening day of the tournament. Looking for angles, crunching the numbers, sweating the action. Game Time, 6 p.m., 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger. Chef Michael Johnson is back on OTB. Brought to you by Barbecue Guys. Barbecue Guys is your one-stop shop for everything outdoor kitchens and living. Send your questions into the Bayou Ford YouTube chat using the hashtag Munchies.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. Team up Jake Musso and Danny here, and right now we are joined by our guy every Thursday at 7:30, Chef Michael Johnson, to answer a little Munchies question. Chef, we were talking pig in the blankets last segment. A delicious finger food to be sure. If you were going to do some fancy chef pig in the blankets, how are you doing them?
You know, I think it starts with the crust, right? The dough.
Yeah.
I like light, fluffy, crusty, like a croissant dough around it, so it's not too dense, and it kind of absorbs some of the flavor and the juices from the sausage or the hot dog, and you know, like and instead of just using a normal hot dog, you know, I'm going with andouille or some kind of sausage that has a lot of flavor in it, spice, and I don't know, you know, and then you can get into the condiments. Like condiments, there's a world of condiments out there that, like me, I'll put kimchi on anything, and I would probably put kimchi on a pig in a blanket if the flavor was right.
All right, I like that answer. Hashtag
That's
Munchies. Is there a particular type of sausage you like in your red beans and rice?
You know, I guess it depends on what's available to me. I mean, if we're sausage, yeah. If you're talking about what kind, like andouille, it's always going to be andouille. But whose it is, you know, like Richard. I have a preference to Richard's. I like the nice thick grinds on, and you know, if you're not looking for a name brand, and what I'm looking for is like a multiple grinds in there where you can see big chunks of meat and smaller pureed meats in there, and you know, so you can get the texture of the andouille out of it.
Hashtag Munchies. What is the best birthday meal?
You know, I don't know. I guess for me, it's probably going to include some pork belly at some point.
Yeah, that makes sense.
You know, I've never mentioned this on the show before, but I have a real liking for foie gras. So, you know, I was just thinking about this the other day that I haven't had foie gras in a while, and I think if I was to have a birthday meal right now, it would have foie gras on the plate and a nice thick steak, and I don't know. You guys know I like asparagus and fresh greens and stuff like that. I prefer turnip greens to mustard greens to collard greens, but it would be a full plate. I promise you that.
I'm not gonna act like I know more than I do. What's foie gras? Somebody
Foie
with
gras?
duck? What's
So
foie
it's
gras?
kind of a hot topic, to be honest with you. It's fatty duck liver, right?
Okay.
So they take ducks and they feed them grains, and some places force feed them, which is why it's kind of a hot topic.
Oh, it's a bit like it's like a veal situation a little bit. Maybe
Right.
how it's made,
Right.
people aren't too happy
Yes.
with.
So there are some places out there that use like the Pavlovian way, that they ring a bell and the ducks come running and they gorge themselves, and it's actually a natural response. Like when waterfowl migrate south, they gorge themselves for the migration south and fatten themselves up so that they have lots of energy to be able to make the flight. And at some point along the way, I don't know, the Egyptians or something, I don't know who it was, but they figured out that these duck livers and goose livers taste amazing, and they're super fatty and tender, and I mean, it's when you warm it up, it spreads like butter. It's quite delicious.
Dude, I need some of this. So you put it on your steak?
You can put it on anything. Like typically it's served as an appetizer, and with like a sweet or sour, something like a balsamic vinegar that's been reduced, or something that has contrast to the fattiness of the liver.
Hashtag
It does not
Munchies.
taste like liver, though. I mean, it tastes like butter. It's delicious.
I now know what I'm going to try sometime this weekend. Hashtag Munchies. Favorite way to prepare speckled trout?
If I'm catching them and I'm coming right back to the camp, they're going to get fried.
Hell yeah.
Put a little. I'm pretty traditional in that way. I like the flavor of the trout, but they lend themselves so well to being deep fried.
All right, hashtag Munchies. Favorite deep fried vegetable?
I kind of like a buffalo cauliflower, and it's kind of mimicking the chicken wing, and you deep fry it with some tempura and toss it with a little bit of spice or sambal or something like that. I like deep fried cauliflower.
Yeah, my wife's made me go that route sometimes, try to be healthy. It's pretty good. It's like all healthy things. Like you can dress it up, and it's pretty good, but it's
You don't like cauliflower?
No, it's okay.
I
But I
love
mean,
it.
but I mean, no, I guess I'm talking about buffalo cauliflower compared to like an actual buffalo chicken wing, right? It just is what it is. So a couple of questions in this same vein, Chef. It says hashtag Munchies. We do Mexican, Italian, and Cajun all the time. What style of cuisine should I do next? And somebody asking, suggest a new cuisine to try and cook.
Yeah, I mean, if you haven't been to like the Eastern culture, like the Thailand or Vietnam or any like that, you're missing out. And even China, like China has so many different sections of it, places that you can go that have different types of cuisine there, that if you dive deep into it, it's you can get caught in the rabbit hole, to be honest with you. So I don't know. I think that spending some time with Thai culture, Thai foods, and like pho and or banh mi or stuff like that, those are always fun fun to eat and taste good. And I don't know. I like fresh bowls like poke and stuff like that as well that come to us from the East. So I think all that stuff is great.
All right, hashtag Munchies. If you're preparing the best plate of spaghetti, how are you doing it?
Well, I like fresh noodles first of all, not dried noodles. Like, just when I say fresh noodles, they've been handmade with
Like you make your own noodles.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yeah, so start off with that and start making your own sauce as well. I think it's a dish best made from scratch, and I don't go too far with my sauce as far as seasonings go into it. I like Italian tomatoes, and you can buy them canned at the store. Cento's the brand, and not too much seasonings in there. And if I'm making a red sauce, it's definitely going to have marjoram in it for sure. So olive oil, salt, black pepper, maybe a little bit of basil, marjoram for sure, and garlic and shallots, and make that your sauce. A lot of people go too deep, and no sugar, by the way, just so we're clear on that.
I know, and I'm a kind of a sucker. I like the sweet red sauce.
I do too.
But whatever, I'm a sugar addict, right? That's why I like ketchup and stuff. What about this, Chef, as far as the spaghetti goes? My brother-in-law makes some damn good spaghetti, and he does a technique where I guess he kind of boils it till it's like halfway, or maybe a little over halfway done, and then he finishes it in the cast iron in the red sauce.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it gives it this great texture where it like absorbs a lot of those flavors.
Right. A lot of people actually will go beyond that and save a little bit of the pasta water and put the pasta water into the sauce itself, and it has this starchy kind of rich flavor to it. And when you cook it only part of the way in the water and then put it into the sauce is cooking into the noodle itself, right? And so you get this really kind of blush, pinkish red noodle that has absorbed some of that flavor into it. It's definitely the way you go. And specifically with those fresh noodles, like you can take a fresh spaghetti noodle, dunk it down in hot water for no more than a minute, put it into your sauce and finish it in the sauce in about 3 or 4 minutes, and it's done. And, you'll have something super, super beautiful.
Hashtag Munchies, last one here. Is bologna overrated?
Bologna?
Yeah. Or they say bolognese. I don't know if there's actually a difference.
Oh, bolognese?
Yeah, there's a big difference,
Really?
but bologna's fantastic. I love bologna.
Look, I don't know, man. I just read the questions.
Definitely.
Sometimes correctly, sometimes incorrectly.
If it's bologna, I'm probably going to eat mortadella instead because I like the pistachios and cracked black pepper and mortadella. Mortadella's like bologna's grandpa, right? It's pretty much the same thing, but has a few different spices in it. If it's bolognese you're talking about,
yes, bolognese.
It's an Italian dish. I love bolognese, and we start off with like antibiotic-free, hormone-free ground beef and let the fat cook down out of the beef a little bit. Put your mirepoix in there, garlic and shallots or whatever you're putting in it.
Chef,
again,
sorry.
Go ahead. Well, just making sure you're using the Italian tomatoes. The Italian tomatoes are a little bit sweeter and they lend themselves well to the dish.
All right, last one. Hashtag Munchies. Since the Masters is taking place, this one makes a lot of sense. What would be on your menu if you won the Masters?
Oh goodness, that's pretty tough. I for some reason like a crown rack of lamb comes to mind. Like if I'm celebrating something like that, rack of lamb sounds good. Something probably not Australian or imported. Probably some Colorado lamb with a nice fat cap on it and some fresh cracked rosemary. That sounds nice right now.
That's stoner lamb. I feel you, bro. Also, I'm sure like pork belly has to be on the menu somewhere, right?
Well, yeah. I mean, probably just render some pork fat out and smother it in it. Sure.
Chef Michael Johnson, LSU executive chef, joins us every Thursday answering all of your Munchies questions. Chef Johnson, thank you so much, man, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yep. Y'all have a good week.
Yes, sir. Take it easy. All right. When we get back, let's close out hour number 1 here on Off the Bench. And in hour number 2, we get ready to slide into this weekend's baseball and softball series. Keep it locked right here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to AccuTempBR.com. Remember, T-Bob had freezing cold take yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Sloss did win the poll, in case you're wondering. Somewhere you don't have to have a freezing cold take because you're going to be regulated. You're going to have the perfect temperature is AccuTemp. We know here in South Louisiana, it's going to be hot, it's going to be cold, it's going to flip-flop every single day. You got the heater on, you've got the AC on during this time of year, right? Okay, well, make sure that your unit is working at its peak performance.
And if anything goes wrong with your AC unit right now, or if you need a new full AC install, act now. They've extended the deal through April. With every full AC install now, you get a free premium clean air package. This is like an air scrubber, media cap. And the bottom line is that what you need to know, it's over $1,800 in value. You're getting completely for free. And what it does is it's the equivalent of an industrial cleaning crew clean your home every 12 minutes. Go to AccuTempBR.com, AccuTempBR.com.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Bayou Ford is open for business, and we want to earn your business. Stop in and see our selection of the latest Ford cars and trucks, as well as a variety of quality pre-owned vehicles, with prices starting as low as $5,000. Bayou Ford will get you the transparent information you're looking for. And when you're ready to purchase your new vehicle, provide the professional service you deserve. Located off I-10 on Belterre Boulevard in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
50 years ago on Easter Sunday, Breck's Baton Rouge Zoo proudly opened our doors, and we've been hopping ever since. 5 decades of connecting people with animals, teaching our community about the problems facing wildlife and how we can help, and working with zoos across the world to protect endangered species. Today, our future is taking flight by stretching the possibilities of what your zoo can become, while we keep it fun and affordable for everyone. Thanks for coming along.
Acura of Baton Rouge for attractive offers on the MDX.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona.
Hey, that's me!
Inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Full hour of football talk with Mike Detillier. We inch closer to the NFL Draft and LSU Spring Game. Join us 3 to 6. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Yeah, he's okay. Yeah, he's okay. The guy who got crushed by the set, the ESPN set in Columbia, is just fine.
I mean, it hit him with like some real force.
Yeah. Yeah, it was one of the craziest videos of the last year. For those who don't know, you can probably look it up if you just Google sports anchor crushed by set. I'm sure you can see the video. Jake, what's going on with the Braves, bro?
What do you mean? They won both games they played yesterday.
Oh, they did. Okay. What happened? What
header sweep.
So were they both in extra innings? Because I saw Cole Kubelik tweets, or was one of them something about...
One was in extra innings, but now Major League Baseball, you're playing 7-inning doubleheaders. So they've kind of gone to the college.
So that's why Cole Kubelik was tweeting the Braves are still winless in 9-inning games.
Yeah, well, because Cole lives in Braves country, but he likes the Yankees, which...
Wow, what?
Who in the hell likes the Yankees?
What a front runner, dude.
But and he hates on the Braves, like absolutely hates on them. He is not ready to admit that Chipper Jones is better than Derek Jeter. So it's a whole back and forth thing. That's why when we asked him about the cards yesterday when he came on, he was just naming like random Braves to say they weren't valuable cards anymore. That's kind of a thing. Yeah.
So you're feeling pretty good then. After losing that first game in that, here they come and they take the series, dude.
You're 2-4 still. I mean, look, baseball is such a long season. I mean,
but you were looking. I mean, it could have been a pretty big hole after 0-4, right? I mean, it's a tight NL East race from what I was reading as well.
And look, baseball, as we know, like the Nationals when they won the World Series, it looked like like 35 games missed. I think they were in last place in the East after 35 games. So it's okay. It's a very long season.
So Moose, I felt a little anger from you at the mention of 7-inning doubleheaders. It does feel a little. It does feel a little Bush League outside.
7-inning games are the stupidest thing in baseball.
The stupidest thing. There's nothing dumber in baseball.
I hate 7-inning games.
Okay, like you load.
This
sounds
is
like
Major
real
League
anger.
Baseball. This is not I mean, they still play 7 innings in high school. This is not high school baseball anymore. This is Major League Baseball. I hate them in college, too. You play 9 innings. A lot can happen in the 8th and 9th inning, T-Bob. And when you take those away.
Absolutely.
How do you
feel
about
it would be like a 3.5 quarter football game,
right?
Which sounds absurd.
Which is dumb.
So what's their reasoning for doing this? COVID stuff? Like, is this going to be from here on out?
It's just like starting with the runner on second extra innings now.
Also
They're trying to speed up the game. They're trying to make it faster, save the arms a little bit, too.
Okay. Yeah, well, man, I guess it's just a schedule thing. Well, then it's like, well, then why play double headers? Because I'm assuming this doubleheader was already on the schedule, or was this caused by weather delay?
Washington had a COVID issue.
Oh, that's right. They were late starting their season. Yep. So you're not a fan of the runner start on second and extra innings either?
No, I'm not.
It's stupid.
Why is that?
I thought that would be
baseball. It's not. That's not baseball.
It's just not baseball. It's like backyard. Like, say, Johnny, start on second. We gotta get out of here, Bo.
Yeah.
Can it become
ghost runner on first? Is that going to be next in Major League Baseball? What are we doing?
Can it become baseball though?
I hope not. Because it's. I mean, look, you got started out on second. It's like you bunt him over the third, and then sack fly, and then you win the game. It's like it's just you didn't get that guy to second. It's hard as hell to get that guy to second. And you didn't do it.
Both teams get
For me, I don't see that the games were any shorter. I really don't see that the games were any shorter. They're still going 11, 12 innings because everybody's scoring the run from second.
That's exactly what's happening. Everybody's scoring 1 run in these extra innings.
Well, good job on the Bravos riding the ship a little bit. I'm looking at the standings right now. Boston checking in at 3-3 moves. Looking just fine. A little log jam there. Coming up in hour number 2, we'll slide into the LSU baseball and softball series. Keep it locked here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to Ochsner.org today, Ochsner.org. Look, if you want to get vaccinated, you go to the website. You can find some great avenues to do so. It's really, really simple, y'all. And look, whatever, just my experience, they made it really easy for me to get my first shot, got my second one coming up here. About 13 days, something like that. I felt great, no side effects, just, whatever. If you want to get vaccinated, Ochsner is the key to doing so. If you want to feel healthy, get back to the quality of life that you're looking for, Ochsner can also provide you the pathway to do so. And don't think that it's like, you automatically have to have surgery if you got some sort of nagging injury in like your hip, your knee, shoulder, whatever the case may be. Maybe surgery is the answer. And if it is, there's nowhere you'd rather go than Ochsner. Trust me, the facilities and the personnel are second to none. When you see them in person, you'll really get an idea. And that doesn't matter if you're in the North Shore, Baton Rouge, or New Orleans, they got your back. But maybe it's non-surgical. The bottom line is they will get you to maximize your quality of life where you want your health to be. Go to Ochsner.org.
I'm feeling good. So good. I just thought you should know.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana Products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
Have you been arrested for DUI or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225-343-1111 or connect with us online at ocbrown.com.
Brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Good morning. It's 8 a.m. on Thursday, April the 8th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect sunny skies with a high of 86. Coming up in hour number 2, LSU head softball coach Beth Torina joins the show next. LSU head baseball coach Paul Mainieri stops by at 8:30. Rivers Huey sits in for the third hour. Follow the show today on Twitter and Instagram at OTB_ESPN. Watch live at the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel or on Cox Sports Television. You can interact with the show inside the Bayou Ford YouTube chat. Hour number 2 of Off the Bench starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? Welcome into hour number 2 of OTB. And right now, we do it every Thursday in the second hour. You can see the small sign right here on the set. We slide into the series presented by Small Sliders. Let's go ahead and dive into this weekend softball series with Coach Beth Torina. As what do you know? Another week and another ranked matchup for the Tigers on the weekend. Coach Torina, what's going on?
Oh, we're good. How are y'all?
We're good. We're good. And so are y'all. After a hell of a weekend last weekend, the Grinders continuing to fight, find ways to win. It was a very tough-fought series, but in the end, thanks to a walk-off, I believe it was in Game 1, and a tight win in Game 2, you take home the series against Ole Miss. Coach, what were your big takeaways with what you saw out of your team last weekend?
I think you summed it up well. I like our fight. I like how we continued to battle, and every game was close. You know, I've replayed that 7th and 8th inning about 100 times still from the last day, you know. And I see ways we could have managed it better, things we could have done. And we're making the adjustments and working on it and trying to be better moving forward.
And that's just the way that it is in the SEC. I mean, we've talked about it so many times, but with 9 ranked teams out of the 13 in the conference, and the ones that aren't ranked aren't bad teams, they just don't happen to be ranked. I mean, that's kind of what you expect, and I think your team is so battle-tested in those moments, it's only going to pay later on down the road.
Yeah, the ones that aren't ranked aren't on our schedule either.
Yeah. Oh, great.
You miss those
Somehow
teams.
That's one thing about softball in the SEC. You know, you get 8 of the 12, right? You miss 4 every year, so it is a little bit of a balance of, for luck of the draw, you know, of who you get and what year you get. So,
talking to Coach Beth Torina here on Off the Bench. Coach, so you go from the big weekend series win over Ole Miss, where Leah Andrews had some clutch hits, or scored a clutch run, I should say. And then you go to the midweek game against La Tech, 6-4 winners. And it was a tough game as well. I mean, down 4-3, it was Aaliyah who comes up with a 2-run triple to give you all the 5-4 lead. You later end up winning the game 6-4. But, I mean, what a game she had. 3 hits, scored 3 runs, stole 2 bases. I think I read that she has 8 extra base hits on the year, which is impressive given that's not really been her forte thus far. Where is some of that extra power coming from with Aaliyah?
well, just her work and her effort. I mean, she's just put in so much time to be this player that she is. You know, she was getting squeezed. People were in her face last year on the defense and didn't like it, you know, so she needed to open up the field for herself and put in a lot of time. And she's really leading us. She is a great leader for us. It was a big moment. Every time we play Louisiana Tech, it is a ball game. It doesn't matter. I mean, one time it was like 30-8, and it was still a ball game somehow, But I think, she did such a good job of leading us and just being a incredible, incredible player for our program.
And so it's not just the hitting itself or the defensive plays, but a lot of times with Aaliyah, it's the timely nature of these plays that she seems to be making. It's like when the team needs it the most, and there's others as well. But what do you think? I mean, you've coached for so long. What do you think it is about players that allows them to succeed in those very high pressure type of moments?
I just think she's very battle tested. She's a veteran. She's, played in the College World Series. She's done so many things for this program. And I think she can feel those moments, understand those moments where you need to step up big. A lot of people think that there's a thing called instincts, but I really just think it is practice and reps and, working on taking the correct first step. All of a sudden you look like you have instincts, but really it's work. It's how much work did you put into getting that extra edge, to seeing that first step, to all those things that she does so well.
All right, Coach. Mizzou is coming off a sweep of South Carolina, 28-7 on the year, 8-1 at home, traveling to Como this weekend to take on Missouri. What challenges does this team give you?
Yeah, they have a great offense. They're at the top of the league offensively, so they're going to swing big. They really take big hacks. So we're definitely going to have to deal with their offense, and our pitching staff's going to have to be on their best game for us to, take care of business. My middle child asked why I had to travel this weekend and did not understand why Missouri couldn't come here, and I did agree with her. I wondered the same, but we do have to get on a flight today and go to Missouri.
Hey, at least it's not going to be, as cold as it has been in Como in years past. I looked up the weather. It's supposed to be in the 70s, maybe some rain on Saturday, but it's not going to be cold like it typically is in Como.
Yeah, I think it's going to be okay. There's a low of 40. I don't know what that means in Missouri. A low of 40 at Baton Rouge is pretty cold, but we're playing in the middle of the day both days, or 2 of the days, so we should be okay. I'm with you.
I think I read the Friday game's going to be at 6 p.m. And then Saturday 2, Sunday at 1, I believe. Catch it all on the ESPN Network. Plus, also right here on Talk 107.3. You can listen to the games if you're in the car. When you look at your team thus far, I ask you this every week, but every week is an additional kind of fact-finding mission. What are the areas that you're identifying where you still want your squad to improve?
I think productive at bats. I think we need to make sure that, especially when the offense is facing really good pitching, right? We're facing great pitching and we're having to find ways to score. Like, we've got to be more productive. It feels like we're getting runners on and then not able to get them in scoring position. And then we need that timely big hit too. So, and then I think just eliminating free passes from the pitching staff, just freebies, like making sure people earn everything they get from us and being that tough opponent that nobody wants to play.
And so I'm sure there's a lot of crossover in the vid diagram that I asked earlier about kind of what it takes to step up in those clutch moments. But there's a similar issue with LSU baseball where they're doing a lot of good things to reach these tipping points, but they're ultimately losing out on the vast majority of those kind of decisive battles. So when you're talking about getting that clutch hit or coming up with a play that needs to be made, how do you try to continue to develop that? Obviously, you all have some of that, and it's gone on, and that's how you're grinding out these wins. But how do you continue to try to improve on that skill set?
I think just keep running them out there. I mean, both teams are so young when you look at it with a microscope a little bit. I mean, both teams are super capable. They're really talented teams. They just have to be in the situation over and over. We just talked about when Aaliyah comes up in that spot, we're good. She's been there for 5 years. She's been in huge moments, but we're starting to see some of the young kids come around. We're starting to see, Danica Coffey had a game winner. She's just a true freshman. And a few weeks ago, she was up to have the game winner and struck out, but this time she was able to get it done. I think running them out there, continuing to believe in them, continuing to pour into them and buy into them. And these kids are going to take off. I think you're going to see 2 completely different teams at the end of this season than where they are in the beginning.
All right, Coach. So your next 10 games are going to be on the road. We mentioned a trip to Como, and you've got other trips, NC State and Kentucky, coming up. Is that something you even mentioned to your team? Like, hey, we're about to go on the road. We've got 10 straight games away from Tiger Park. We've really got to lock in. Or do you think, like, I got a veteran team, I'm going to let them just play the games as they play them?
I I think it's something we definitely have to pay attention to. You know, it's one of those things that it just, in this COVID year, it just worked out this way. You know, so many of the things were not planned that have happened in this schedule. And this is another one. NC State was scheduled to be here, couldn't come here. So we didn't want to take the weekend off. So we're now going there, right? So I think it's just this adversity will be tough in the moment, but I'm just hoping it pays dividends at the end of this year when we get, you know, to be in the postseason. And I think some different things in softball, and I think baseball too, that they're announcing the host sites earlier. So, you know, we'll get a feel to know if we're in that group earlier, or if we're going to have to keep being on the road. So I think all of it will pay off in the end.
Yeah, like we said, the challenges in the short term, I mean, it's developing just kind of like a tough exterior, right? It's like you're being forged in the fire right now, and I absolutely believe y'all will be stronger for it by the end of the season. I mean, already you see the toughness, you see the grit. Best of luck this weekend in Como, Coach. Good luck taking home yet another ranked series.
Thank you guys so much. We appreciate the support.
Thanks, Coach.
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. Coach Beth Torina, LSU head softball coach, the best, joins us every single Thursday. Thank you to Small Sliders for presenting it. Coming up, do we have Coach Mainieri at 8:15 or 8:30 today?
We have him at 8:15.
There we go. Coming up next, right immediately next, we will talk to LSU head baseball coach Paul Mainieri here on Off the Bench.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Go to AdvantaClean.com. That's AdvantaClean.com today, y'all. When you're talking about AdvantaClean, you're talking about the first call you need to make if you have water damage, mold damage, or fire damage. In fact, if you're a business, why don't you be proactive and get AdvantaClean out to your place of business to have a plan in place for if something goes wrong. That means that you will minimize missed time, which means you minimize missed revenue. But if you're just at home or whatever, 24/7 they're open, meaning if anything goes wrong, you call 369-5228, 369-5228. They fix the problem, document it, and they deal with the insurance company.
So obviously they take the hassle away in a very stressful situation. We always talk about that. But remember, you do not have to have a problem before you make that call. You can make that call. You can set up a plan so if something does happen, they know your space. They know exactly what to do, and they can rush that process.
AdvantaClean, one call solves it all. 369-5228.
Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 1045 ESPN Baton Rouge.
Bayou Ford is open for business, and we want to earn your business. Stop in and see our selection of the latest Ford cars and trucks, as well as a variety of quality pre-owned vehicles, with prices starting as low as $5,000. Bayou Ford will get you the transparent information you're looking for, and when you're ready to purchase your new vehicle, provide the professional service you deserve. Located off I-10 on Belterre Boulevard in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Can you feel it? Spring is almost here, and if you got a new boat for Christmas or you just want to take your boat to a new level, you want front-to-back boat service, HD displays, live sonar that show the fish before you cast, trolling motors. At front to back, they got not one, but two NMEA certified techs for all of your marine electronic needs. How does a brand new speaker system sound? Well, guess what? They do that too. So call 225-928-9644 or go to front to back boat service.
Acura of Baton Rouge for attractive offers on the MDX.
50 years ago on Easter Sunday, Breck's Baton Rouge Zoo proudly opened our doors, and we've been hopping ever since. 5 decades of connecting people with animals, teaching our community about the problems facing wildlife and how we can help, and working with zoos across the world to protect endangered species. Today, our future is taking flight by stretching the possibilities of what your zoo can become, while we keep it fun and affordable for everyone.
Tune into a Thursday edition of Game Time, live from Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, presented by Bet Rivers, and we're talking Masters on the opening day of the tournament. Looking for angles, crunching the numbers, sweating the action. Game Time, 6 p.m., 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to OTB. Right now, it is time to continue to slide into the series presented by Small Sliders. As we talk to LSU head baseball coach Paul Mainieri here on OTB. Coach Mainieri, what's going on? A tough week of news for y'all. I want to start here. Obviously, the Jaden Hill news it's really upsetting, mainly for Hill himself. How is Jaden holding up following the news that his season is over and he has to have that Tommy John surgery?
Well, emotionally, he's holding up remarkably well. T-Bob, he's a pretty mature kid. He also had a very major situation happen in his life. He's very close with a former player here, Cedric Harris. I'm not sure what their blood relation is, but I know their families are very close. And Cedric lost his 14-year-old son, CJ, to an ATV accident. And I think it allowed Jaden to really kind of keep things in perspective. This is a real shocking blow to Jaden to tear the ligament in his elbow and have his season ended and going to need Tommy John surgery. But really it pales in comparison to a 14-year-old losing his life. And Jaden will be able to recover. Obviously, the family, Cedric's family is suffering something that they'll never be able to recover from. And Jaden's able to keep things in perspective, and he'll be okay in the long run. Obviously, his season is over, affects our team greatly, but he'll have the surgery. He'll still get drafted. A team will rehab him, and he'll be able to begin his professional career at some point, and hopefully have a long, distinguished career. So it was heartbreaking when it happened. I couldn't believe it. Second inning against the number one team in the country, nothing game. And he threw a pitch, and I could just tell by his reaction, he kind of clenched his fist. I'm not sure anybody else saw it but me, but been around long enough to know when you see little reactions like that, something wasn't right. So I went out to the umpire, and I said, I need to check on my pitcher. I think something's wrong. And sure enough, when I went out to the mound, I said, "Are you okay?" And he said, "No, I think I felt something pop in my elbow." And, of course, our trainer, Corey Couture, was with me, and Corey asked him if he was feeling any pain, and he said, "No, I'm not. It just something felt weird." So we waited for a few seconds. No pain started, and he wanted to try to throw a ball, and he said when he threw it, something just didn't feel right. So, of course, we took him off the field, and on Monday, they did the medical tests, and it was confirmed that there was a tear, and so he's finished for the season. So heartbreaking stuff. You go into this business to help young people, and when something like that happens, it just tears you apart, and it feels so awful for the kid. But like I said, he'll recover, and as a team, we'll just have to deal with it, and we'll recover as well. Obviously, he was a highly talented kid, and it'll be a blow to us, but we're just going to have to make do.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting because there's definitely, you feel horrible for Hill himself, but then as you said, just like functionally on the field, it's also a blow to a team that is already dealing with adversity. And so as this outside noise kind of continues to build up and the adversity continues to build up, you've been at this job for a long time, coaching baseball as long as anyone. How do you deal with all that adversity and outside noise? Like, how do you keep this team locked in for the second half of the season?
Well, as far as the noise goes, I don't really pay attention to it. I can't. If you do, it's overwhelming. You guys are part of the noise. That's
Yeah,
your job. That's
definitely.
what you have to do. You're dealing with the fans, and that's what makes LSU special, to have people that care and want to talk about LSU sports. And I understand that it's all part of it, but I just can't listen to it and worry about it. My concern is the 37 players on our team and getting them in the right frame of mind to be able to compete against a really tough schedule. I think we might have the toughest schedule in the country, but that's no excuse. It is what it is. We got to play the teams that are on our schedule, and we've got to succeed. And I was really proud of our team that they bounced back on Tuesday against a good McNeese State team. They played their hearts out. They won a game and put them in a good frame of mind, getting ready to play Kentucky this weekend. And listen, we got to chip away. We got to start piling up some SEC wins, and we still have 21 games left. And we've dug ourselves a huge hole, and we got to do it one game at a time and start digging out of it and readjust what we can accomplish. But we're not giving up. We're just going to keep battling and hopefully get a win Friday night, and then turn our attention to Saturday.
Coach, y'all have those conversations, like maybe if someone does go down like Jaden unfortunately did throughout the season, like I can see this guy maybe starting on the weekends if it came to it, and maybe not dive into those conversations because everyone's healthy, but in the back of your mind and you and the coaching staff say, if something does happen, this is a guy that we can see has the mentality to be a weekend guy in the SEC?
Yeah, sure, Jacob. But right now, we got to play them one at a time.
Yeah.
More important than our third starter is, winning one game, and then worrying about winning another game. So I'm not going to save somebody for Sunday's game if that person can help us win Friday's game. And I'm not going to save that person for Sunday if that person can help us win Saturday's game. There's been years where we've only had two starting pitchers. For me, more important than Sunday starter is the first two games starting pitchers and the bullpen guys that can help us close out a victory. If we have to get to Sunday and piece it together, then we should do that. So I'm not going to name a starting pitcher for Sunday. It's going to be the old famous TBA. He pitches for a lot of teams across the country, And, we've got guys in the back of our mind that we think we could do that with, that we could start the game. If we haven't used them, there's obvious candidates, Blake Money, Will Helmers, Garrett Edwards. But if those guys can help us win a game before we get to Sunday, we're going to use them. And if we haven't used one of them, then that player will start the game on Sunday. So we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, we'll see how the weekend goes. It's a strategy that makes a ton of sense. Well, how about Blake Money, Coach? What did you learn out of him entering in a kind of, after the Hill injury, just kind of an odd thrown in there situation against the best team in the nation, and it felt like he held his own.
Yeah, I wish I'd brought him in, first instead of the left-hander, that gave up 5 runs right away. Blake really did a great job. He's always had a good arm. He's always been a great competitor, but his secondary offerings, were in a real development stage. But the other night, I thought he threw some good breaking balls and some good changeups. If you want to go through the lineup, even one time, but certainly a second time, for sure a third time, you cannot be a one-pitch pony. You got to be able to, have 2 or 3 pitches. And Allen seems to be very confident that Blake's repertoire has developed and that he's capable of doing that now. And he did go 4+ innings the other night, and he threw up to, I think, 80 pitches. So, I'm very encouraged by what Blake did the other day. Like I said, he's always been a fierce competitor. He's always been able to throw the ball 94 miles an hour. The thing that's kept him from, or the thing that's, allowed him to be hit a little bit and not be able to pitch with any length, in terms of quantity of pitches, is the inability to change speeds and keep the hitters off his fastball. But the other night he was able to do that. So let's hope that that's a sign of things to come.
All right, Coach, got Kentucky coming up, obviously, on the schedule, 5-4 in conference play for the Wildcats, traveling up to Lexington. What are the things that you know about Kentucky that, could possibly pose a problem for LSU?
Well, Kentucky is a very solid team. They're hitting 285 as a team. They got a team ERA of 3. They lost 3 tough games this weekend at Mississippi State, which, of course, is easy to do. Mississippi State's a very talented team. They lost an extra inning game. They got walked off. They had a 1-run loss. The first game, Mississippi State beat them a little bit handily. But they've got a really veteran team. They got a guy named Collette, left-handed hitter. It seems like he's been there for 100 years. I know he was there in 17 because Greg Dykman threw him out from right field on a single. Collette had a knee surgery and he had a big old brace on his knee, and he couldn't run at all, and he smoked a single to right field, and Greg Dykman threw him out at first base leading off the 9th inning of a 1-run game. It was a critical play. But he's a really good hitter, Collette. Their leadoff hitter is a guy named Schultz that really makes them go. He's a strong guy, though. He's not just a punch and Judy hitter, like a table setter. But once he gets on base, he can run. He's a good athlete. Their top 3-4 hitters in their lineup are really, really solid. But after that, they're okay. Although earlier in this week they played at Louisville, who was ranked 5th in the country, and their 9-hole hitter, their shortstop, had 6 RBIs in the first 4 innings of the game. He had a bases-clearing double, and then he missed a grand slam by inches and hit another bases-loaded double. So, but statistically in the SEC games, they've got like 4 or 5 guys that are hitting 212 or lower. So I don't know if they've just run into really good pitching in the SEC like we have, and their numbers aren't great in SEC games, but somehow they've won 5 games. They always play with a lot of emotion. They're very, very proud team. They kind of play with a chip on their shoulder. So they just built a brand new ballpark, a beautiful ballpark. They spent about $60 or $70 million on. So it's the first time we've been there. I'm not shedding a tear for their old ballpark. I was not a big fan of it. So I'm glad that they've got a new ballpark, and I'm anxious to coach in it and see what kind of park it's like. But we got our hands full. I mean, they're a very, very solid team. Their coach has a lot of energy and a lot of enthusiasm. So, we're gonna have our hands full, and we got to take them one at a time, as always.
Coach, what do you think the key is for the lineup kind of breaking through on these Friday night guys? Now, obviously, you faced some of the elite where nobody's ever going to have consistent success, right? You just got to try to do enough. But, I mean, people point to, like, Chad Dallas and as maybe being a bar where that's a guy you would hope to have more success against. Like, and your lineup, it's really consistent against the lesser pitching. Like, these midweek games have been so dominant. So what's the key to taking that next step to find that consistent offensive success on the weekend?
If I knew the answer to that question, T-Bob, I'd already answered it.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got guys that I thought would be really good hitters, like Cade Doty. He's killing the out of conference pitching, but he's just been scuffling in conference. He hit a home run off Jack Leiter, but outside of that, he's got 1 RBI in 9 games. I'm not blaming Cade, believe me. Cade Beloso is 3 for 25 in conference games. I mean, go right down the list. We're hitting 201 in conference games. These guys are guys that I thought would hit, and they've shown that they can hit. And listen, we faced some unbelievable pitching.
Yeah.
I mean, this past weekend, obviously, you mentioned it. Leiter and Rocker, those guys are going to be pitching in the major leagues this summer. Their third starter is going to be a 2nd or 3rd round draft choice. They brought in a guy out of the bullpen throwing 97 miles an hour that'll be in the big leagues in a short time. Those are the elite of the elite, and nobody's hitting those guys, okay? But you're right, like guys like Chad Dallas, those are good, solid SEC pitchers with good sliders that are throwing 93, 94 miles an hour. We've got to be able to rise up and be able to hit those guys. We can't just get 4 or 5 hits in a game every week. I mean, every night against those kind of guys and expect to win ball games. And I know we're playing a lot of freshmen. And listen, initially opening weekend against Mississippi State, it was a big adjustment for those kids.
Yeah,
I understand that. We haven't played an SEC game in 2 years. And all of a sudden you're in there against McLeod and you're in there against Bednar and you're in, it was tough, man. It was tough. And then, the next weekend Dallas provided, but, we got to Heflin, the third game against Mississippi State, we got to their guys. So we've had a couple of good games offensively. I was shocked that the kid from Tennessee he's just a freshman, man, 95 to 97 with a knockout slider. That was pretty tough, on Sunday against Tennessee. So we have run up against some really quality arms. And, I don't know what Kentucky's got. Their numbers are really good. But somehow, some way, we've got to be able to hit these guys. The amount of strikeouts has been alarming for us. I've never had a team strike out this much. And we've had some times where we've had a runner at third base with 1 out. Where just put the ball in play, just hit a ground ball to the middle of the infield, gets us a run. And, you get that run, you tack on another one, and maybe the game's a different game. But we can't let those opportunities bypass us when, just putting the ball in play will get us a run. We're not asking for a double in the gap, So, look, the kids are trying. They really are. And a lot of it is, just an adjustment to a caliber of play that they haven't seen before in their life. And my job is to just keep encouraging them and building their confidence. But sooner or later, they got to rise up and they got to do it. I can't hit for them, and Eddie can't hit for them. You get in that batter's box, man. You got to just rise up and you got to be able to meet the challenge, and hopefully they'll be able to do it. It's not easy. Hitting a baseball is not an easy thing. Yeah. I've done it. I wasn't a great hitter myself, and I know how hard it is. And I know these kids can sometimes get very frustrated. But, they just can't lose confidence. They just got to keep plugging away, and hopefully they'll get it done.
Well, Coach, in the past, the hallmark of your teams have always been finishing strong, and here's to hoping that this team could do the same. It starts this weekend at Kentucky. Best of luck as you all hit the road to Lexington.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Coach. That is LSU head baseball coach Paul Mainieri. Thank you to Small Sliders, as that is the end of sliding into this weekend's series. Let's discuss some of what Coach Mainieri had to say next here on OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com, All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com for any of your car purchasing needs. The selection at All-Star is incredible, y'all. And it's not just the wide range of different types of vehicles, which they have all your hybrids, your sedans, your midsize, your SUVs, big trucks, small trucks, minivans. Like, they got all of that, but it's also, Jake, it's the brand new versus, like the 2021s, 2020s, maybe the Toyota certified used vehicles where you get things like a warranty. Like, it's overwhelming, but they can be your guide to make it whelming and find the answer that you need.
Yeah, look, the size of the dealership, I understand what you're saying. It is a big dealership, but they have got it set up for success with the pre-owned and the service center right there, and they are there to help, very helpful. You're not going to be sitting around waiting all day. You're going to find exactly what you need.
Go to All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. Get that All-Star family, All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana Products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Hey, that's me. Inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Full hour of football talk with Mike Detillier. We inch closer to the NFL draft and LSU spring game. Join us 3 to 6. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
Welcome back, OTB. Our host, Jacob Hester. Myself, co-host T-Bob Hebert. Danny Cardenas, Matthew Musa.
So you've already messed up because there's not a host and a co-host. It's we're co-hosting the show.
Yeah, I was just trying to show
like
throw you a little
you
bit.
won the rock paper scissors when we teamed up, so you bring us in and out of breaks. But that's the only reason.
Like Coach Mainieri, I had to. I'm just trying to juice you up a little bit. Just let's get those bats going a little bit. If chat is any indication, I don't think people were too happy with that interview, even though Coach Mainieri just gave us 15 in-depth minutes on this baseball team and kind of where he thinks it's going. But then again, I mean, could Coach say anything that people would be happy with at this point, right? There's nothing that you're going to say that's going to please people. It's all going to be about the results on the field. And that's why this Kentucky series, again, is so fascinating and in many ways more exciting than last weekend series because you knew you were going to lose to Vanderbilt. It was a question of could you get game 3. As you laid out yesterday, Jake, this Kentucky series is must win. Also, this is a team that you should be better than. Like you are, do we agree with this? Even without Jaden Hill, you are more talented than Kentucky.
Yes.
And so that's been one of the biggest points of friction with this entire season has been that you've been turning in top 5 recruiting classes, and yet it seems like everybody else has kind of been ascending while you continue to either stay put or descend. And so this weekend is critical to buck that trend and to reverse it, and you have to win 2 of 3. I mean, you just have to, which is why the all-in approach makes sense. They're going all in on these first 2 games, let the chips fall where they may, and see what you can scrap together on Sunday. Who do y'all think is the first arm out of the bullpen? Besides now, you obviously have Fontenot in kind of the closing type of role, but out of the 3 freshman starters, Helmers, Money, and Edwards, when it comes down to it, who is going to get spent first in trying to secure a Game 1 or Game 2 victory?
I feel like it's Helmers. It just seems like right now that's where the most trust is. Blake Money could potentially start on Sunday. I mean, there was a lot of nice things Paul had to say about him, about his secondary pitches.
Yeah.
But it feels like Helmers could be the first guy out of the pen.
Moose, what about you? I mean, you're the Moose of the Box host. Who do you think the first arm is?
It depends on the game situation, but I mean, I could see it being Garrett Edwards as well as the first arm out. I know Paul said a couple times this week that they're going to put more of a focus on using Ty Floyd and Devin Fontenot late in the game.
Yes.
I think his quote was sixth inning and on. So It could be Ty Floyd, but if it's not, I think it might be Garrett Edwards.
So you can see a Friday situation. Let's say Marceau goes 6. Then it would be Ty Floyd and Fontenot to finish Game 1.
Provided they have the lead.
Yeah, if it's close and you have the lead, yes. And then in Game 2, then maybe that's where you see then Helmers, Edwards, and Money come in. And then Sunday, who's ever left over, who hasn't been used, that'll be your Sunday starter. What about when you have to go to the pen on Sunday? I guess it depends. I know we're trying to look into the future. I guess it just depends on usage at that point. Like, could you see Floyd or Fontenot return on Sunday if they only throw one inning on Friday?
Depends on pitch count. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I mean, that's when you go the whole staff route, and they've done it in the past, and they've had success with it in the past, it all comes down to managing the pitching staff and usage throughout the weekend. Because, yes, you would love to be able to get something out of Floyd and Fontenot, say, on Friday and be able to bring them back on Sunday with that whole staff approach, especially this year because the bullpen hasn't been as, I don't want to say, not as dominant, but not as consistent as it has been in years past when they've employed this approach.
Scone in the chat says, T-Bob, it's up. Paul sounds defeated, looks defeated in the dugout, like he doesn't think his team can win. I would say this, though, is this not always how coaches kind of approach the game? I mean, generally, people like their coaches to be very stoic and, kind of like the facial expression never changes, whether it's good or bad. But I feel like Coach Mainieri's always kind of worn his emotions on his sleeve. He's been more honest. I mean, what about you, Moose? Do you think that, and you, Jake, is this year any different than others in terms of body language from Coach Mainieri?
This definitely Moose.
I think it's a little different. I really do.
But even that, is that just because they've been losing more games? And in the past, he would still act like this when they lost. It's just that they lost less, so you saw it less.
Yeah, and it's also not losing games. It's you're 1-8 in SEC play. And look, I know we could play the what if game, but you're very close to being 4-4 in the SEC.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, when you look at those 2 times they got walked off against Tennessee, okay, well that's 2 more wins. The game against Vanderbilt to close out the series, that was a game that LSU should have won, right? And so you've had these games where you have to take advantage of them because with the teams you faced, with Mississippi State, with the Vanderbilts, and even Tennessee, like we got to give them their respect. They're a top 10 baseball team, but you've had games that you should have come out on the other side, especially against Tennessee. That's games that you gave back to Tennessee. Okay, well, 4-4. 4-4, or 4-5, even compared to 1-8, that's completely different, and potentially 5-4. So, you've not been able to get over that hump, and that's the frustrating part.
But that's the kind of scary part, is because we watch enough sports to know that a team can fall way short of where its potential can be because of results that are decided within a hair's breadth, right? Like, yes, 4-5 is a completely different story, but it doesn't matter how you lost. The fact that you're sitting here at 1-8 has the potential to cause you to spiral, especially when you throw in a Jaden Hill injury now. And really, that's what I want to see out of this team. Like, how do you respond to this mounting adversity, to the constant calls for your head coach to be fired, to the constant calls about your team being soft, not being able to hit, not enough depth, the starters aren't that good. I mean, how do you respond when it's not just all this negative outside noise from the fans and the media, but then also, like, functionally, you're in dead last in the standings? Like you said, you're not even making it to Hoover right now, where 12 to 14 teams qualify. That will show how tough this team is. And, I mean, look, dude, this is like they've entered risky business territory. Sometimes you just got to say F it. And that's what they got to do right now, dude. They got to say F it. They got to say screw all the outside noise. I don't care anymore. We're just going to go out there. We're going to find a way to win no matter what. And that all sounds well and good and whatever. It's easy to sit here and say that. But teams that display that sort of mental toughness, those are the teams that can dig out of 1-8 holes. And when you look at the past, I mean, it's something that Coach Mainieri's teams have actually been pretty good at, is affecting some late season runs. But if it's going to start, it has to start now. And they need to, and look, also, don't hold yourself to some impossible standard anymore. Like, gone are the days of, like, hosting a regional or hosting a super regional, or we got to make it to Omaha. You got to beat Kentucky. And that's all you got to worry about. And Coach Mainieri said it. They're in one game at a time. You got to win Friday night, and you cannot afford to look at anything beyond that and then just deal with each subsequent challenge as it crops up.
You're exactly right. Like that stuff that's so far in the future, like, no, not even remotely can you think about that. You have to worry about this trip to Lexington because you are 1-8 in the SEC. You're facing a team that you have got to say, we're better than you. We're going to show we're better than you in your own stadium. That's the mentality you have to have, because if you go lose 2 of 3 and you're 2-10 in conference play with the team still left on your schedule, I don't know how you get – in fact, I don't think you can. I don't think you can get out of the hole that you've dug yourself in, okay? So this is why we say it's a must-win series. And, look, I realize all the things that are going against you. But, look, for as talented as Jaden Hill is, and he's going to play professional baseball, I mean, he had a 6.67 ERA, okay? So you've got to be that guy that says, you know what, I know he was talented, but I'm going to get better results than he got. I'm going to go out there, I'm going to take the ball, and I'm going to show why I should be in this weekend rotation. It's going to be on me. Like when he said Garrett Edwards, like, texted him.
I do like that. I like a guy who's got the big cojones to try to put himself in that spot.
Okay, you've shown me that mentality off the field. Now show it on the field when you get the ball in your hands on Sunday. Okay, so you have an opportunity to take a spot. That's the kind of things you need to happen when your back's up against the wall like LSU is.
Yeah, we'll see this weekend. I want to talk a little more to close out hour number 2 next. Hour 3, we got Rivers coming in. We're going to talk some NFL draft as well, as the Saints mocks are starting to we're starting to see some pictures develop. There's one name that I find very exciting. So we'll get to that a bit later in the show. Keep it locked right here on Off the Bench on 104.5 ESPN.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to centralplumbing.org. That's centralplumbing.org. The number is easy. It's 925-8552. Please just lock that into your phone, 925-8552. And when you have any plumbing issues, don't think twice. Just call Central Plumbing. It's very easy, and you don't lift a finger, and your plumbing issues are solved. Now, if you're a do-it-yourselfer, you can go to the showroom, Central Plumbing yourself. You get the parts, but plumbing's different, man. I do YouTube videos for a lot of fix-it stuff. Every time I've tried with plumbing, I've just made it worse, so I gave up. I just go to centralplumbing.org. I call Central Plumbing, and they fix it.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat as you. I mean, my wife flips houses for a living, and I've learned to do a lot of things. Plumbing is not one that I am going to try to attempt, because there's a reason why you have professionals like Central Plumbing. So make sure you give them a call. Obviously, they can handle more than just your plumbing issues. We talked about it. Your tankless hot water heaters, your old school hot water heaters, your bathroom remodels, they can do it all at Central Plumbing.
Centralplumbing.org, 925-8552, Central Plumbing.
In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
Bayou Ford is open for business, and we want to earn your business. Stop in and see our selection of the latest Ford cars and trucks, as well as a variety of quality pre-owned vehicles, with prices starting as low as $5,000. Bayou Ford will get you the transparent information you're looking for, and when you're ready to purchase your new vehicle, provide the professional service you deserve. Located off I-10 on Belterre Boulevard in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Tune into a Thursday edition of Game Time, live from Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, presented by Bet Rivers, and we're talking Masters on the opening day of the tournament. Looking for angles, crunching the numbers, sweating the action. Game Time, 6 p.m., 104.5 ESPN, Baton Rouge.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria, and 1130 The Tiger.
What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Off the Bench. T-Bob, Danny, Musso, and Jake hanging out with you today. Just wrapped up with Coach Mainieri. You think LSU goes with the full offensive lineup this weekend, right?
God, I hope
Travinsky and Thompson and Arnold. Arnold thought maybe was hurt, but he does not have a broken hand.
He still might not play this weekend though.
Is Gio back officially for this weekend?
Yeah, he played I'd imagine, yeah.
That's what I mean, but like full speed, you think he's going to be back in the starting lineup?
They're going to play him.
Okay.
Now the catcher position is, we've kind of gone back and forth all year. Like that's the one position where if you feel like you've got a defensive guy and you want to start him in the series, like completely okay. If you feel like he receives it better than the other guy. But I would like to see Travinsky get some at-bats. Now, I know he has been just eaten up by SEC pitching. He has dominated midweek games. I mean, he's hit the ball a long way.
Well, he's a microcosm of the entire team then, right? I mean, that was one of the most mystifying parts of the interview just now is Coach Mainieri can't even offer any great explanation as to, like, what is going so wrong in translating, like, not all of the midweek success, but, like, at least more of it to the weekends. And it needs to happen with guys like that aren't named Kamar Rocker and Jack Leiter and everybody. That's, again, why the Kentucky Steers is important to prove that you can. I think they will. We'll see.
It's a weird spot right now for LSU baseball because, like, I celebrated a home run off Jack Leiter. Like, I was so happy. I was like, oh, the first extra base hit. It's like, wait a minute, we're LSU. Like, you shouldn't celebrate that. Like that. It's a feat. I understand he is dealing, but
here we arrive, though, at one of the big, not conundrums, but one of the issues with this year's LSU baseball team and how you cheer for them or watch them is you can't hold this year's team to the standards of LSU past. I mean, you can, but it's every single aspect of the team will disappoint you. From like the actual play on the field, both offensively and defensively, but even like the overall record, the expectations. Like when I mentioned, gone or like hosting a regional, super regional, you just make tournament blah. Somebody was like, well, that's the exact reason why Coach Mainieri be fired. And to me, that's all well and good. Those are maybe more off-season conversations. Like if you're going to watch this year's team, you have to be willing, at least if you're going to take anything positive out of it and not just have it become like an exercise in self-hate and masochism, like you have to like kind of allow yourself to adjust expectations and enjoy some of the good. And so if you come out and you manage to scratch across 5 and win on Friday instead of being like, well, you should have beaten him worse, so you should do this or that, you have to learn to adjust and then enjoy this team based on its own merits of growth.
It's football season all over again.
It's a very good point. Absolutely. This is something we kind of had in the docket to talk about earlier. We never got there. It's been a horrible pandemic year sports-wise for Louisiana ever since LSU kicked off the pandemic winning a natty basically, or right before it. And then ever since then, it's just been really, really bad. There's been all the drama around LSU basketball. The Pelicans have been nothing but a disappointment since the pandemic started. LSU football goes from national champs to 5-5. LSU baseball is now having their worst start since at least the 60s. We think it might go back even further. It's just, yeah. I mean, a lot of this, shout out Ingrid Lindblad.
Softball, gymnastics, beach volleyball.
That's what I'm saying. So a lot of the less heralded sports are doing well, but people love the hits. They love LSU football and they love LSU baseball, and that's going to decide the happiness. And then even the Saints have to watch Tom Brady come in, take the NFC South from them, and stop them in the playoffs and route to another Super Bowl. So it's been rough. It's been rough, dude.
Yeah.
It's not good. But it's going to get better because Rivers is here now. So hour 3 coming up next. OTB.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Go to RejuveMeMedical.com. RejuveMeMedical.com. Rejuve Medical specializes in HRT, hormone replacement therapy. Get your T levels checked and see if it's for you. It's no guarantee that it is for you, but the bottom line is that RejuveMe can help you feel like your more youthful self again. Okay, right? You want energy as soon as you roll out of bed. You want energy when you're getting into bed. Well, RejuveMe Medical can provide you, like I said, the pathway to accomplishing it. It doesn't matter if you're 20, 30, 40, 50. Help RejuveMe make you your best you.
You don't always have to feel tired, lethargic. They have something that can help you get that spring back in your step. We always tell you, right, their process is a 3-step process to get you back to feeling like your youthful self. RejuveMeMedical.com is the website. Go ahead and set up that consultation.
Yeah, and there's 3 locations, so it doesn't matter if you're in Baton Rouge, Denham Springs, or Metairie. RejuveMe has your back. They also got great IVs you can check out. Go to RejuveMeMedical.com, RejuveMeMedical.com.
Acura of Baton Rouge for attractive offers on the MDX.
50 years ago on Easter Sunday, Breck's Baton Rouge Zoo proudly opened our doors, and we've been hopping ever since. 5 decades of connecting people with animals, teaching our community about the problems facing wildlife and how we can help, and working with zoos across the world to protect endangered species. Today, our future is taking flight by stretching the possibilities of what your zoo can become, while we keep it fun and affordable for everyone. Thanks for coming along.
It's no secret, the best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Brought to you by Spencer Callahan Injury Lawyers.
Good morning. It's 9 a.m. on Thursday, April the 8th. Today in Baton Rouge, expect sunny skies with a high of 86. Coming up today on OTBOT, NFL Draft Talk, and Rivers Huey sits in for the third hour. Follow the show today on Twitter and Instagram at OTB_ESPN. Watch live at the 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel or on Cox Sports Television. And you can interact with the show inside the Bayou Ford YouTube chat. Hour number 3, OTBOT, starts right now.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Jacob Hester and T-Bob Hebert.
Yeah.
Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob.
Hey, P, they said I got to come off the bench.
All-Star Toyota presents Off the Bench with Hester and T-Bob. Yo, yo, yo.
Yo, 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 what up, y'all? Welcome in. Hour number 3 on this Thursday, which means we're joined by Rivers Huey here in the Mercedes-Benz studios here in Baton Rouge. T-Bob, Jake, Musso, Danny, and Rivs all hanging out with you right now. We were kind of lamenting the Louisiana sports cycle since the pandemic. Patrick Vines, though, pointed out Tom Brady may have retained ownership of the NFL, but he did not take the NFC South. He got swept. NFC South champs, baby. And then he said, cries softly.
Yeah. I have a lot of AFC West championship hats.
Hell yeah, bro.
Collect dust.
Yeah, but it's,
mean
hey, you know what's better? It's better to at least win a division than not win anything at all.
Sure.
Right?
I got a hat.
Hell yeah, dude.
I got a hat.
3 of them.
I got 2 Scout Team Player of the Week hats.
Hey.
At home. Yeah.
Do you still have those hats?
I think
if you had those hats, I would wear that hat in honor of you.
I think that I have a giant box filled with all my old LSU paraphernalia, all my old LSU clothes and everything.
And I thought my children would want it one day,
like
all the old Incredible shirts and Chain Gang and the hats that you're talking about, like Player of the Week.
Give them a little bit. Give them like 5 to 10 years.
Spoken from the vintage T-shirt.
Spoken from the person
master.
who is wearing her dad on her T-shirt.
Wait. So what is this shirt right here? Exactly.
My dad got inducted into his high school's Hall of Fame.
What?
Yeah.
Baller.
Shout
That
out
is
St.
a baller
Joe,
move.
Greenville, Mississippi. But I went to the ceremony, the whole thing, and I got T-shirts with my dad's face all over them.
Good for your
so
dad.
all weekend, I just wore T-shirts with my dad.
I don't even think my high school has like a picture of me up.
Yeah, at least though your high school has like some of the most notable alumni ever, which obviously
I was the highest drafted until like 2 years ago, but still no pictures up.
That's what I'm saying. I can't get in my high school's Hall of Fame. We ain't got crap. What's up, GAC?
I feel like
punks?
Shouldn't your high school have like the trophy case and all the stuff? They don't have just like a shrine.
I am shocked that Evangel does not have a Jacob Hester shrine. What's like?
Now they've only retired one number, and that was Josh Booty, his number 10, and Brock Berlin was the national player of the year.
When I grew up, I was like a Brock Berlin
USA
fanboy.
Today Offensive Player of the Year, and they didn't retire his number, so the standards are pretty high there.
Yeah,
we'll see what we can do. We'll get in touch with them, see if we can get a ceremony together.
I'm trying to get y'all to champion for me here. Okay,
anybody of mine.
Call Evangel.
I'll get a T-shirt with the high school photo of you on it.
I appreciate that. I was pretty thick. I don't know if I can fit on that little box you got.
You'll have frosted tips. It'll be a couple chokers.
I don't know if it can be black and white because then the frosted tips won't show off.
Oh, I think they might pop even better.
That's true.
Did you ever get suspended in high school?
Oh no. My dad would have killed me.
I got suspended for I left my backpack at the blood drive, and when they opened up my backpack, which feels like an invasion a little bit.
They were trying to figure out whose backpack it was.
They found 2 They found the trappings of a curious young man. They found 2 books titled Sexploration and another one titled The Art of the Quickie. And
where did you get these books?
I lied and said that my sister bought them for me, which got her into hot water, and that ended up being a whole thing. Who did get them for me?
I feel like
and why did you take them to school?
I think I bought them.
Then why did you take them to school?
He was trying to be cool.
What? No, I was just reading them. I don't
At
know.
school, you were reading Sexploration?
I guess I was just carrying it around with me. I don't think, I mean, I was old enough. I wasn't like showing it off like, bros, look at this book. I mean, the internet's a thing. There was plenty of like sex on the internet to watch. I don't know. I think I was at Barnes & Noble one day and I saw him and I was like, like I said, a curious young man finding my way in this world and how interactions in that regard work. And so, yeah, that's what I'm telling myself is that suspension is why I'm not involved.
That's exactly. I'll try to go quickly here because this could end badly for us here on CSD. But I remember like the first time, so T-Bob used to host my show on Fridays when I traveled with the team because I couldn't be there on road trips.
Okay.
And the first one he did, I started to get messages like my phone was just blowing up like, hey, you need to turn on the 104.5. I'm like, what's going on? And they said, well, T-Bob, Dixon, and Flynn are talking about finding adult magazines in the woods.
Which is not a thing.
It's absolutely, it's not anymore. It was. It absolutely was. There is woods porn.
How did they get
porn
there?
is not a thing.
Okay,
Woods porn is 100% a thing.
Is it a thing?
I've never found that in the woods
No, it's
before.
not.
Danny, is it a thing?
You're asking 10-year-olds.
Too young.
You're asking 10-year-olds. I mean, they I know. I'm just kidding.
That's rude.
I know. But no. Look, even me, I feel like I'm at the very tail end of it. Now everything is digital, so of course nobody is stashing a duffel bag full of nudie mags in the woods. But absolutely, that has existed in the past. Like before, you could just keep it. Like now, you just keep everything on your iPhone, whatever. Right? What are you saving? Like nothing. Everything's streaming. In the past, maybe you were in a relationship or something where your wife's not cool with any of that, but you got a stack of Playboys. What are you going to do? You put it in the woods. It's a real thing. Wait, the comments will start rolling in.
Mm-hmm.
People have found it. And I'll never forget being in like junior high and playing in the woods and coming across a duffel bag. And there's like a bunch of like 1990s Playboys in there. And we were blown away. It was like finding
reading
gold.
the articles.
Yes. I mean,
like
fantastic
the
writing,
catcher
though,
from
for
Major
real.
League 2. He had the yips, and that's what helped him throw the ball back to the pitcher. I get it. And
Look,
snap the ball to the quarterback.
You can Google it if you don't believe me, but sadly, like the fax machine, there is no National Signing Day for woods porn, so they're even less relevant than the fax machine nowadays.
All right, let's.
I was saying it's gone the way of the fax machine. It's old
like
technology.
the Great White Buffalo. It's gone.
Yes,
I got you.
Exactly.
On the way of the fax machine.
It's unfortunately no longer a thing. Very positive memories, though. Very fun when we discovered that day. Speaking of fun, let's talk about a little NFL draft. Jacob, you did an entire NFL draft show yesterday. Is this correct? Okay, so our guys
NFL
prepped
Network,
up.
yes.
So, okay, what I want to talk about here is, and thank you, Craig Granger definitely used to hide nudie mags in the woods. Thank you.
Couldn't help himself.
So NOLA.com had all their writers do a mock draft, and there was some consensus there among some of the targets for LSU, Amy Justin, Luke Johnson, saying they like Caleb Farley, who of course was the cornerback for Virginia Tech that actually set out this last year. Out of WalterFootball.com, they both like the safety out of TCU, Trevon Morwig. Rod Walker likes Greg Newsome, the cornerback out of Northwestern. How about this, though, dude? And I know they need a cornerback, so my eyes are getting big, but like, I like Jeff Nowak saying Kadarius Toney out of Florida, right?
Okay.
You lose Emmanuel Sanders. What's the problem? Like, would you go offense if you're the Saints right now?
So I was about to ask both of you this because everyone that we had on, they talked about, I know they need a corner, I know they need a linebacker, but everything that they're hearing is pointing to receiver. And Toney was one of the names. Elijah Moore out of Ole Miss was another name. I think Rivers remembers him pretty
Huge
fondly.
value.
Right.
Who's that guy?
And also Terrace Marshall was another name. So those were the three names that a lot of people. So before we hopped on, Chris Doring and Ed McCaffrey were doing like the receiver breakdown, and a lot of people are talking about the Saints really eyeing receivers. Again, is it their biggest need? No, but I do think it is a need because we talked about it. Like Traquan, look, third-round pick. There's something there, but I don't know if it's enough to be a number two. In fact, I don't think it is enough to be a number two.
No.
You lose Emmanuel Sanders. You lose Jared Cook. And I know Jared Cook had some plays Saints fans want to forget, but he was a receiving tight end. Adam Troutman can be, but he showed to be more of a blocker in his rookie season. So you need other receiving options. And there's a lot of value. If you can get one of those guys we just mentioned at 28, I think you take a look at it.
I mean, Tony to me is interesting. Terrace Marshall maybe less so because, and I don't know if this is bad logic or not, but
Bob hates LSU players.
Yeah, exactly. No, but with Terrace Marshall, you're getting a more traditional receiver role, and there's already going to be a run on receivers up to that point. And so I wonder, are you kind of overdrafting them the same way that we talk about quarterbacks? The reason why Tony wouldn't fall into there is Tony seems to have more versatility than just your traditional receiver. Like Florida used him for everything. I would really like to see how creative Sean Payton could get with the Kadarius Toney. Like if you draft Kadarius Toney, do you think he only plays receiver? Does he take any reps at running back outside of Kamara? Like, do you try to cross-train him in that way?
Yeah, and maybe not, lining up and playing running back, but to your point, I mean, he did everything at Florida. He was a jet sweep guy. He was the Wildcat quarterback at times. He did line up, in multiple places. And when you look at, like, a Terrace Marshall, like him and Mike Thomas probably have similar traits as far as red zone targets and the routes that they would run. So Tony would be more of a different receiver to line up across from Michael Thomas. So if I had to pick, I would say that Tony is the better fit. I don't know Elijah Moore. I know he had the stats. I know that he had some big moments at Ole Miss, but I don't know if he can be a game changer.
Rivs, how would you feel how would your father feel, your Hall of Fame father, who's a big Saints fan, massive Saints fan?
I feel like Elijah Moore did
Starkville
plenty
native
for us. I don't know.
Okay, well, he did get y'all the Egg Bowl win, but he also...
He got us the win, and then Joe Moorhead was out of there. We got Mike Leach, which we were excited about.
I was about to say, but through the chaos theory, he also brought Lane Kiffin to Ole Miss.
He did.
That's not a positive from y'all, I'm assuming. So how would your father feel if suddenly he was forced to cheer for Elijah Moore on Sundays in a black and gold uniform?
He wouldn't cheer for him.
Okay.
Just like
cheer
Saints
for the
fans
team.
cheer for Mark Ingram.
It took a while for them to get there, though,
Did
dude.
it?
Yes.
Well,
but
that
that's
was
also because he
on
wasn't
the
good out
field.
the bat. Yeah.
But if he was good, are you gonna? I mean,
No, if
is
he
my
would
dad
have,
gonna
that's
hate
fair.
him?
No, that's fair. If he would have been good immediately, Saints fans
And
would have been
God
all
knows there's
behind
not
Mark
any
Ingram
LSU players
immediately.
to cheer for on the Saints. So
They should have drafted Patrick.
I think the only person my dad won't cheer for is Cam Newton, no matter where he goes.
Wow, really?
Man, he was supposed to come to Mississippi State.
Okay.
The whole thing. I mean, it's literally so deeply rooted.
He's still salty about it to
Since
this
he
day.
was in high school, I think that's the only person my dad could probably not find himself cheering for. He probably would cheer for Elijah Moore.
I don't know if I have. Like, do you have one guy's like I'm not cheering
I'm just
for
not
him,
gonna
even
do
if he's
it.
on my favorite team?
I would.
Mine's
need
Jay
to,
Cutler.
I would
not
need to
cheering
think
for
about
him.
it.
What you have? This is 2
He
episodes
does
in a
hate Jay
row
Cutler, yeah.
that I've been on that you have hated
I'll
on
tell
Jay
you
Cutler.
I'll tell you the story. It's like you'll not like him as well. I don't want to share it on air.
Okay.
That's very
I'll
good.
tell you
Ooh,
the
I can't
story.
wait to
juicy,
hear it, though.
juicy. Give you that burger.
Bad body language guy.
Who would I
Get through
not
4 interceptions to D'Angelo
cheer
Hall
for?
in one half. The same guy.
I don't think I've ever heard it pronounced D'Angelo Hall, but I
D'Angelo?
like that. Yeah, no, I like D'Angelo better. That's how I'm
Did I
going to say
say
his name.
D'Angelo,
Yeah,
not
you said
D'Angelo?
D'Angelo. I'm going to
Oh.
say that. No, I'm
Well-
saying that every time from here on out.
Yeah.
I did used to like him though when I grew up a Falcons fan. I don't know. I guess we'll have to think
I
about
need
that.
to think about it too. I'm sure I don't mind Cam Newton, but I need to think about it. I'm sure there's somebody.
I mean, like Noogie said, we do cheer for Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Right,
Ooh.
and like if you're talking about unlikable,
That's a
you're
great
talking
one,
about a
Mickey.
Florida guy that talks a lot of trash. But I love Chauncey now that he's with
If he
the
was on the
Saints.
other, if he was on the Falcons, you'd
Oh,
hate
you'd
him.
hate
So,
him.
right?
You would hate him if he was on any other team because he's a pest. I mean, he gets into people's heads. He's the ultimate troll on the field. But you love it when that guy's on your squad. The last thing I'll say on the Kadarius Toney potential pick is I do feel like the one drawback is I feel like they already feel they may have that player in Deontay Harris. And he was starting to come on offensively at the end of last year. So I wonder if there's a bit too much overlap between Harris and Toney, but we will see. All right, coming up next here on OTB, more of the Rivers Power Hour here on this Thursday. Keep it locked right here on 104.5.
OTB, OT. Our listeners fire off their opinions on the jimsfirearms.net hotline at 499-1045. Keep listening for your next chance to shoot us your thoughts with the jimsfirearms.net hotline on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets, or by logging on to jdacody.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
Bayou Ford is open for business, and we want to earn your business. Stop in and see our selection of the latest Ford cars and trucks, as well as a variety of quality pre-owned vehicles, with prices starting as low as $5,000. Bayou Ford will get you the transparent information you're looking for, and when you're ready to purchase your new vehicle, provide the professional service you deserve. Located off I-10 on Belterre Boulevard in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Can you feel it? Spring is almost here, and if you got a new boat for Christmas or you just want to take your boat to a new level, you want front-to-back boat service, HD displays, live sonar that show the fish before you cast, trolling motors. At front to back, they got not one, but two NMEA certified techs for all of your marine electronic needs. How does a brand new speaker system sound? Well, guess what? They do that too. So call 225-928-9644 or go to front to back boat service.
Acura of Baton Rouge for attractive offers on the MDX.
50 years ago on Easter Sunday, Breck's Baton Rouge Zoo proudly opened our doors, and we've been hopping ever since. 5 decades of connecting people with animals, teaching our community about the problems facing wildlife and how we can help, and working with zoos across the world to protect endangered species. Today, our future is taking flight by stretching the possibilities of what your zoo can become.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Hey, that's me. Inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Full hour of football talk with Mike Detillier. We inch closer to the NFL draft and LSU spring game. Join us 3 to 6. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
What up, y'all? What's up? Welcome back. T-Bob Ribs and Jake and Musso and Danny all hanging out with you this morning on this Thursday. We're taking in all the Ask the Bench questions, so continue to send those in, and Danny's put them in the document for the end of the show. Some people talking about potentially taking Terrace Marshall at 28. I mean, Jake, in that draft show yesterday, did y'all ever engage with how many wide receivers will be taken in the first round?
there's going to be a
we
run.
keep talking about quarterbacks.
Yeah,
There's a huge run on quarterbacks.
Just off the top of your head, you got Jamar Chase,
Yeah.
Devontae, you've got Jalen,
Yeah.
you've got the Elijah Moore, the Terrace Marshalls, the Kadarius Tonys, Kyle Pitts, if you want to kind of throw him in as far as a pass catcher, where he's going to be. So, that's right there at 7 guys that potentially could be pass catchers, and I think it could be 8 or 9. So,
And then how many quarterbacks do you think are going to get drafted in that first round? I mean, you got the big 3.
5?
Yeah, it feels like it might be 5.
Going to be drafted.
So I mean, that's almost half the picks of the first round that were assigned in between.
Remember, it's got some deep tackles, offensive wise.
So something's going to make it all go awry. Like somebody's going to do something unexpected that changes that. But I guess let's say that it did all go according to plan, and those picks kind of end up going that way. It's almost like out of principle, I would want the Saints to avoid wide receiver at that point, because that means that every other position has massive value, right? And if you're talking about trying to draft a first-round corner now.
But the same thing could happen, though. So Patrick Surtain could start it. He could be the first corner off the board. And then we just talked about some of the other names. J.C. Horn from South Carolina is going to be off the board when the Saints make their selection at 28. There's no way he'll be there. We've talked about Farley from Virginia Tech. We've talked about the cat from Northwestern.
Greg Newsome.
When you look at that, it's like, okay, well, the same thing. I'm going to be selecting the 5th corner. You're picking at 28. And so when you look at that, you think there's going to be some value there, but the positions that you need are hot commodities in this draft. So all the corners that you like probably going to be gone. Now, the linebacker position is interesting because you could say, well, I could take the 2nd or 3rd inside linebacker, but you also could maybe select them later in the draft.
Yeah.
Because that's not the hottest ticket in the draft this year. So you have to look at it that way as well. So, if there's a receiver that you like, that you really value, that you feel like is a late teens pick, and you get him at 28, that's something you pay attention to.
So what about you with what you would do, or kind of where you see the Saints potentially doing? Where do you land?
I hope they select a corner or a linebacker, like what we're talking about. Because I think that is your biggest need.
Even if there's a huge run on both positions.
I don't think there will be one at inside linebacker.
Yeah.
If someone falls to you, and last year.
But do you think there's a first-round talent at inside linebacker that could still be on the board, where you're not overreaching for position?
I do. I like Bolton from Missouri.
Okay.
I think that's a player that could start from day one, and if he is there and the Saints pick him, I would not be mad at that. Corner, that's when it gets a little hairy, because I think you're selecting the 5th or 6th best corner in the draft.
So you think 5 or 6 will already be off the board at 28, even with the cornerback and wide receiver
You'll be selecting
run?
the 5th or 6th, yeah.
Damn. So what? So what? So just no. So that's almost like just 3 positions getting drafted in that first round. Then, if you just look at the run that'll happen on quarterbacks, the run that'll happen on wide receivers, and the run that'll happen at corners. If we're attributing 5 or 6 picks to each, then that's half the draft right there. I guess the issue is the Saints won't necessarily be in the market for a tackle because they've already got Armstead and Ramchick. They've already committed so much to the interior of the offensive line. They won't be in the market there. Everybody always needs more pass rushers. I have to imagine they'll take up a lot of the other first-round picks. Do you think there's any pass rushing options for the Saints at 28?
So this isn't a pass, edge rush type of draft, really. This isn't the deepest position. In fact, typically you would see one in the top 5, but that's not where this draft is going. And in fact, it's maybe the lightest that you've seen in a very long time. So you could get someone there, but even the edge rushers that are first-round grade type guys, a lot of those guys are your 3-4 outside linebacker types, and not necessarily your hand in the dirt, I'm going to be in a 4-3 type guy.
Weird spot Saints are picking in then at 28 where, yeah, I guess they're going to try to have to measure kind of what their needs are versus the value. There's a lot of different directions they could end up going.
I mean, I know this is a thing, but the Saints not drafting LSU players. I mean, have they really never?
There's Al Woods back in the day, and then they drafted Will Clapp, and they released him, and now he's on his 10th year in the NFL.
Sorry,
but they took Clapp in a 7th rounder.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, look, that is
Devery Henderson.
Yeah.
The fact that we can roll off the names.
The most successful one would have been Devery for sure. I think that I am never someone who believes that, they're going in like we're not going to draft LSU players. It's just a really horrible strategy, right? It's kind of like the Nazis and their racism. Like, if you immediately just cut off this entire group of people, you're never going to maximize your own talent. And what did you do? You ran off the guy who ended up making the nuclear bomb because you were so racist. You're an idiot, and you cut yourself off from it. It's like the same way. The Saints aren't like, well, I'm never drafting LSU players. It just hasn't worked out for whatever reason year to year. But certainly there are huge misses. I mean, Patrick Queen would have been a spectacular first-round pick last year, especially over Cesar Ruiz, who did not pay the dividends that I'm not saying that Cesar Ruiz ends up being a bust or anything, because he had some moments certainly his first year. But yeah, they're not actively out there, I don't think, just writing off LSU players. But for whatever reason, they've not lined up.
How long have you been waiting to use that?
It just came to me.
No, it didn't.
It just came to me.
He's been probably thinking it through and trying to find the exact right moment to drop it.
No, the idea.
You're welcome for giving you that opportunity.
The idea of something like a racist ideology, being like on top of being abhorrent, being actually like functionally poor strategy. That's an idea from Dan Carlin's Hardcore History, where you point that out. I mean, if you're never going to maximize your talent if you're closing yourself off to avenues of talent, and honestly, it is the same thing in the NFL draft. So yeah, I don't think that it's I don't think it's anything purposeful from the New Orleans Saints, but for whatever reason, that's just how it's worked out. And they should probably be kicking themselves because they missed out on some really good players that they could have had, but for whatever reason did not select. So maybe they change it with Terrace Marshall this year. I don't think I would though if I were them. I don't know if I would go Marshall at 28. For the reason I said. I mean, at that point, there's already been such a run on receiver. Unless, look, and then the other thing is, it comes down to their grades. Maybe they just have it anyway where even with the run of the receivers, Terrace Marshall is still, they believe, like the best player on the board at the time. Go ahead and draft him. I'm not in those war rooms. I don't know how they're valuing these guys. But it's like we talked about with quarterback, with Matt Miller. When you draft a position that you're reaching for because a bunch of guys have already been taken and you're feeling desperate, like you need to draft that position, you're most of the time getting bad value.
Yeah, but I feel like that's only really at quarterback more than other positions. Like when you look at this, like Jamar Chase and Devontae Smith and Jalen Waddle, like that's three receivers, so you're going to your fourth option, but that fourth option can be really damn good. Like those other three are elite guys that you just don't see very often be at the top of the draft at that position. So like Terrace Marshall is a guy that I felt like never got his just due because he was with Jets, because he was with Jamar Chase. And this is someone that people forget. And I think maybe even last time we talked about him, you forgot, like number one player at his position in the country when he came out of high school.
Yeah, I also don't know that the Saints need a wide receiver terribly. It would certainly help losing Emmanuel Sanders. And like you said, I don't think Traquan's the man, but
who's your second option?
I mean, Mike Thomas is number one, Alvin Kamara's two. And then
do you want you can have success having your running back as your second option. I do understand that. But after a while, and we saw it last year, once teams start playing to that, like try to take that away from you, and then what do? Right? You have to have something. Like if you have a game changer on the other side and you're trying to help out whoever's starting at quarterback, because they don't have a lot of options right now. Like on paper, they don't have a lot of go-to options outside of Michael Thomas. And you're going to see bracket coverage. You're going to see teams rotating safeties his way because they're like, if Traquan Smith beats me, I'm going to tip my cap and live to play another day.
Yeah, but two elite options you should be able to unlock, right? With two elite options and then complementary pieces. And in Mike Thomas and Kamara, you've got two elite. I really like what Marquez Callaway did last year. I think he could continue to come on. I'm not going to say that, he's not going to be Terrace Marshall. And Deontay Harris, I think, is the big wild card in all of this, his good development. But then also you combine it with the context of what they actually need. And they don't need a receiver as much as they need a cornerback or even a linebacker, though the linebacker talent pool sounds like it may be a bit down. So I don't think they'll go Terrace Marshall. And who knows? Maybe Terrace Marshall's already off the board because he is that good. And you have so many elite receivers and he ran well. I guess time will tell. But, yeah, picking 28. Ivy Abear, hot take, it's going to be Najee. First-round running back? Would that be the first running back off the board at the time?
No, because the Steelers are going to draft either Travis Etienne or Najee Harris, I believe, at 24. Like, that's almost like going to happen.
Value, though. Value, Travis, second player at the position.
I prefer Najee Harris over Travis Etienne. I mean, it's 1A and 1B. I think they're both great players, but it's all about fit at that position. Like Travis Etienne fits Arizona and Miami style and even the Jets more than Najee Harris, but Najee Harris fits the Pittsburgh Steelers 49ers style more than Travis Etienne. So honestly, I think both of them are off the board at that point.
Dak Cajun said Saints only go to Thomas and Kamara consistently. The rest don't strike fear into anyone's defense. So that's my point.
But I think
who
that's
else
a problem.
has that?
But your running back being your second receiving option, like if he has 50 catches, that's fine because it happens organically, but not because you're forcing the issue.
Oh, see, I don't know that I agree. I feel like I want to maximize the opportunity to get the ball in my best player's hands, no matter what position they're getting the ball from. So I think you can design an offense around Mike Thomas and Kamara. I guess my point to Dak Cajun would be how many teams have more than 2 elite options. I ain't trying to think off the top. We could
Super Bowl
find
champs
some way
have
to
a lot of them.
We could set
the Super Bowl runner-ups have a lot of them.
Who's elite? Okay, who are the elite options on the Bucs?
I mean, think about like what they had in the postseason, right? They got, regardless of where you think Gronk is in his career, regardless of where you think Leonard Fournette is in his career, Antonio Brown. I mean, Godwin, they had receivers and they had playmakers all over the place. I mean, they had multiple running backs that could run the ball, right? They had multiple tight ends in Cameron Brate that could catch the ball. They had multiple receivers.
How different, really, though, were the Saints' offensive weapons?
Are you going to take Traquan Smith over any of the options in that game?
No, but you would take Mike Thomas over any of those receivers. You would take Alvin Kamara over any of the running backs. So my point is, like, how much the difference was really Tom Brady versus Drew Brees versus the weapons?
But again, like you're talking about the Saints' top 2 targets. I think like in today's NFL, like what the Chiefs have with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce and Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Sammy Watkins and all the receivers they have. I mean, they have multiple options that strike fear in you, and you can't play coverage to only 2 players.
I think that you're going to see – I think that one of the great potential upsides of moving past Drew Brees is maybe you can see that you have more threatening options than you realize that you were not able to truly take advantage of because the deep ball was completely off of the table. So now, like, does Deontay Harris's or Traquan Smith's ability to stretch a defense, does that come more to light? It remains to be seen. If you're talking about Saints' problems, I don't know that I would put the weapons. I don't know that you need to draft a receiver in the first round, even though I know I started this all by talking about Kadarius Toney, and now I've just completely talked myself out of it.
I forgot to mention Mike Evans. He's pretty good too.
Mike Evans is good, but you're not taking Mike Evans over. You're not taking Mike Evans over Mike Thomas.
But that's not the argument's not like who has the overall best talent. It's about the wealth of weapons. Like the 2 teams in the Super Bowl had a wealth of weapons.
That's what I'm saying. I think we have to agree to disagree. I don't know that the Saints' wealth of weapons is actually that much more below what Tampa Bay was bringing to bear. I don't think that I don't think that Drew Brees did nearly as well as taking advantage as did Tom Brady.
Yeah, we're definitely going to agree to disagree here.
Okay, when we get back.
I don't even know where to jump in. Y'all are like.
No, that's fine. That's fine. No, when we get back, we're going to talk some Mississippi State baseball. Get a little Kentucky scouting report from Rivs.
That was fantastic to watch, and I want to tell you why. Because you continuously did a thing that I know makes T-Bob mad. You would respond to him, but you would laugh while you were doing it.
Yeah, that's my play, though.
Almost like what he was saying was comical and so wrong that you're laughing.
No, that's my play.
I love
that's
it.
what I do.
I love that you were doing it to
I used to
him.
infuriate Rivers doing that to her all the time.
So, no, that was fantastic to watch.
But no, I mean.
that was wonderful.
Horrible opinions are laughable.
Exactly.
While we have Rivs here, and we can move on from this point. So I had to get my top 5 running backs on this on the draft show I did last night, and everybody's giving the same names, and I threw Kylan Hill out there as one of my options.
Look at you, thank you.
Yeah, Mississippi State love.
Little bowling ball.
And my point was because Kylan Hill, when you think about it, like the team he ran behind, the offensive line he ran behind, going against the SEC West defensive lines that he was going against and linebackers, the other team was probably better in most cases as far as up front, and he still had success. So Mississippi State love.
Shout out Mississippi State. I was
from
reading
your
the
biggest
chat.
fan.
I actually wasn't listening. When we get back though, let's get a little Kentucky scouting report from Rivs to get ready for this baseball weekend. Keep it locked right here on Off the Bench, 104.5, 100.3, 94.7 ESPN.
OTB OT.
Go to All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. All-Star Toyota of Baton Rouge.com. for all of your vehicular needs. The website is a great starting point when you show up on allstartoyotabatonrouge.com. A chat box will pop up where you can talk to service if you need to schedule something. You could talk to people in the dealership who can help you find the vehicle that you need. Remember, once you buy from Toyota, your car will now tell you when it needs to get serviced. You bring it in, and it's super convenient. They can actually drive you home. No Uber or anything. They drive you home. You can do whatever you got to do at home during the day. When the car is fixed, they'll call you, and then on your schedule, they'll come pick you back up and then drop you back off on the dealership. That sort of customer service is one of the many areas in which All-Star Toyota separates.
We always talk about the multiple options. So us three sitting here, we have multiple car seats in the car, right? They have multiple vehicles that fit our lifestyle. They've got cars and trucks for Danny. They've got cars and trucks for Moose, so they can fit every lifestyle over at All-Star Toyota.
Go to allstartoyotabatonrouge.com, allstartoyotabatonrouge.com.
We opened up the playbook and expanded our coverage. Listen daily in high definition on 98.1 HD2. We are 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
Have you been arrested for DUI or other traffic violations? Have you made a mistake? We all have. You're not a bad person. Call the law offices of O.C. Brown at 225-343-1111 or connect with us online at ocbrown.com.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf.
Tune into a Thursday edition of Game Time, live from Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, presented by Bet Rivers, and we're talking Masters on the opening day of the tournament. Looking for angles, crunching the numbers, sweating the action. Game Time, 6 p.m., 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
What's going on, y'all? Welcome back. OTB OT on this Thursday. Rivers Huey in studio with us. Yeah, we have continued to argue throughout the break.
Wow.
That was our first ever, like...
Still agree to
It's
disagree.
really
That's the
heated
first
in here.
time
I'm starting to sweat.
we've ever, I think, had like a good debate.
Yeah, I know. It's
We usually align pretty good.
That's what I'm saying. It's about time. Look, I mean, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him understand good opinions. Say it all the time.
Am I gonna have to mute this thing again?
Do not open that Pandora's box of muting each other's mics, because that can spiral out of control very quickly. We are both within easy reaching distance of muting each other's mics.
Rivers is the only one we can't
I
mute.
don't have a mute button, which is actually
a problem in its own right.
problematic.
Yeah. If you have to cough or anything, you're screwed. You just have to turn around.
So we
or
used to have these fancy buttons on the desk here, and then one day they're like, "Hey, if you touch the cough button on the set, it will knock us off air completely." I'm like, "Wait a minute, what?"
Oh.
Yeah.
So now we have the
Cough drop.
Like you can't see it because of the small sign, but it's there.
Designing, designing in studio is very tough. I look underneath this table. There are a ton of wires and adapters.
Dude, I was nervous plugging in my charger because you already plugged in as well.
Yeah.
I don't even know what this is coming out of the desk.
Yeah, this is new. There's a new piece of equipment here that's used for something. I'm not exactly sure what, but that just cropped up here today.
extra.
I'm no electrician, but
Yeah,
it looks like a situation under there.
It is. But shout out to our wonderful IT crew who has created this wonderful studio. Now we're on CST and everything. So it's getting the job done at the end of the day. Hell yeah. We love it. LSU trying to get the job done this weekend against Kentucky. Rivs, your Mississippi State Bulldogs just squared up with the Wildcats. Classic Cats versus Dogs matchup.
Classic.
Mississippi State ends up sweeping. What was your take on Kentucky?
Well, after Thursday, was it my days are all confused. Thursday, yeah, not Friday. After Thursday, I was like, oh, this is gonna be fine. Like, what were we worried about? We beat them 8-1.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Then Friday and Saturday were a little sketchier. Friday was 3-2, and then Saturday.
I think
4-3. Sorry, the days, the 3 days, the 3 games. But the last 2 games were. I mean, we only won by a run.
Yeah, the whenever a series starts on Thursday, it just throws everything off because
you know
you're so
what I
used to
mean. You know what I
referring to it
mean.
in Friday, Saturday, Sunday time
Game
frames.
2 and 3, we only won by a run, and so the second game I think was maybe the one that we were most worried about. That third game we led pretty much the whole game. So
yeah, it's a Kentucky
our
team.
hitting is just strange.
But you got great pitching.
We got great pitching.
And that's all that matters a lot of times. Though who swept Mississippi State a couple weeks back? That was very impressive.
Arkansas.
Oh yeah, that's right.
How did you ask him?
No, I don't know. I was just bringing Moose into the
I
conversation
feel like you
as
did
well.
that on purpose as a way for
No,
Minnesota to be like.
I was trying to remember. But I think
Kentucky was good. I mean,
Yes.
they were a good team. They were absolutely.
You basically just said, "Oh, they're cute."
It feels nice
Yeah,
to be
it was a
able to do
little
that.
condescending, didn't you?
Kentucky has a nice
They're good.
personality.
They're funny.
It was the equivalent of rubbing another man's hair, which I think is
How are you guys
the
feeling?
worst thing that you could do.
Say that again.
Like when you give somebody a hair
tassel your
tassel,
hair,
like
you know?
oh that's cute,
Hey,
good job, champ.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I loathe that. I loathe
You
pinching in
said
the back
last
of
week
the arms.
we were the guinea pig, right?
Yes.
So we went in and we did our job. So then how are you feeling?
Well, I mean, I think it's what we've said about Kentucky this whole week, which is this is first off, it's weird that you're halfway through the season and this is a must win, but kind of mathematically it is. And more than that, it's a real range finder for where are you actually. Because you can explain away the first 3 series by saying, look, just objectively, Mississippi State's better. We knew that going in.
Right.
That's why we said winning 1 of 3 would be a success there. Vanderbilt was better. You knew that going in. 1 of 3 would have been a success. You don't manage to do that. Tennessee was not, but if you wanted to give them the benefit of the doubt there, you just lost very close games where it's kind of crazy you didn't at least fall into one. So Kentucky becomes this measuring stick of, okay, are you really bottom tier of the SEC, or are you more middle of the pack, maybe upper middle, and you just face 2 of the best teams in the country so
Well,
far?
what's the rest of your season look like? You have Kentucky.
It's not a good sound.
What I mean, who do you have left? Kentucky.
You've got Alabama,
South
Auburn,
Carolina,
Arkansas.
Ole Miss, Arkansas, A&M, Auburn, and Alabama.
No Florida, though.
No Florida.
Yes,
I'd rather have
the SEC
no
is just
Vandy.
Our next 3 games. I mean, we have Ole Miss, Arkansas, and Auburn. No. Ole Miss, Auburn, and I don't know who comes next, but it's
Dang.
like 3 like really tough series in a row.
Where's the Ole Miss series?
Oh, you know what? I don't know.
I wonder if it's in
Let me see.
Oxford or Duty Noble. It's
Ugh.
going to be rowdy.
Ole Miss is
either way, dude.
in Starkville.
Oh, man.
Oh, Vanderbilt.
The Revs coming to Duty Noble? Are the Revs coming to Duty Noble next week? Oh, my God, dude. What is that environment going to be like?
Is there an attendance restriction at all still in Mississippi?
There is, but I mean, it doesn't look like it's much.
Right.
Mississippi.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, when you watch, I mean, it's just like standing room only, which I didn't know you could do that. But Mississippi, the regulations are a little different. They've dropped the mask mandate.
Oh yeah, I was driving
It's
through
like
there. There's no mask in Mississippi.
The cities individually like choose what to do, so there's not a whole lot of masking going on at Duty Noble. I know that there are still some restrictions though.
But either
It's not
way,
full capacity.
You're not going to be able to hold the left field
But
down.
I was
over
gonna say,
there
I
at
know
Duty
that there are
Noble.
people out there because last week on TV, you'll find these shots where it's just smoke,
Yeah.
like from the outfield, people cooking and partying.
And how's the student section been this year? Are they rocking and
Well,
rolling?
the student section is the outfield, really. Like they're part of the outfield.
Oh, well, I didn't know if they were still in the left field now that it's gone all corporate and nice and everything.
they still have the option to maintain their spot. You just have to pay money.
Okay, right on.
Yeah.
From afar, that's going to be a fantastic series to watch. 2 top 10 teams that absolutely hate each other going toe-to-toe in a great venue. All right, when we get back, let's wrap up the show. A little Ask the Bench. Keep it locked right here on OTB.
OTB, OT. In times of need, get a full list of phone numbers, websites, and other important emergency information on the Demco Stormwatch page at 1045ESPN.com.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Bayou Ford is open for business, and we want to earn your business. Stop in and see our selection of the latest Ford cars and trucks, as well as a variety of quality pre-owned vehicles, with prices starting as low as $5,000. Bayou Ford will get you the transparent information you're looking for, and when you're ready to purchase your new vehicle, provide the professional service you deserve. Located off I-10 on Belterre Boulevard in LaPlace. If you need sales, service, or fleet, the crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Can you feel it? Spring is almost here, and if you got a new boat for Christmas or you just want to take your boat to a new level, you want front-to-back boat service. HD displays, live sonar that show the fish before you cast, trolling motors. At Front to Back, they got not one, but 2 NMEA certified techs for all of your marine electronic needs. How does a brand new speaker system sound? Well, guess what? They do that too. So call 225-928-9644 or go to Front to Back Boat Service.
Hey, it's Matt Moscona. Hey, that's me. Inviting you to join us for Thursday's AFR, presented by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Full hour of football talk with Mike Detillier. We inch closer to the NFL draft and LSU spring game. Join us 3 to 6. 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge.
OTB OT with Hester and T-Bob on 104.5 ESPN Baton Rouge and 94.7 ESPN Alexandria.
Here. Yeah, we weren't on air yet.
That was
What are we talking about? Schwarzenegger was a governor.
So our poll
There are a
question.
lot of politicians that are not super
Thank
smart.
you. Our poll question yesterday was who was better, Sly or Arnold. Sly won the poll. Musso and I both agreed. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, if you watch Young Rock last night, he agreed that it's funny they had the same argument. He said Sly Stallone was the ultimate. They must have been, no doubt.
Yeah. Even though they filmed it and wrote it months and months ago, they definitely watched it yesterday.
Live. It was
we got
live
to
in
improv
front of
this
a
scene
studio
for
audience.
tonight. Let's throw together a studio. Whatever, dude. It's still Schwarzenegger. So let's get into another debate then. Citizens Bank poll question of today: who had better offensive weapons last year, the Saints or the Bucks? I want to be clear. I think that the Bucks are going to win this, but it's because Saints fans are not willing to admit that.
Well, no.
Drew Brees was the one that dragged down.
Do not
more
try
than Tom
to
Brady.
8 Mile this. This isn't a rap battle. You don't tell me everything that's wrong with you. No.
I think so. Look,
This is playing out.
This is not
Just give them
8
the
Mile.
options.
The Bucks are going to win the poll. I do
You have
believe
more
that. I think
Saints
it's
fans
wrong.
voting. Way more. There's probably not a Buccaneers fan unless Devin White's family is voting.
We'll see. So Citizens Bank poll question today. We'll revisit it tomorrow. We'll see what y'all think. Right now, it's time for a little Ask the Bench, brought to you by
Coke Light, Blue Moon Citrus Sweet, and Vizzy Hard Seltzer.
Delicious. Hashtag Ask the Bench. Yes, Riffs?
I was going to say hard seltzer. So I've never had them. I know that seems weird, their thing, but I guess if I'm going to drink, I usually drink wine or beer. I'll be on Jay Cody's show tomorrow, taste testing 9.
Oh, 9 seltzers.
9 of them?
Wow.
Vizzy's
If you're
gonna win.
interested, from 4 to 6 p.m.
That sounds
I don't know if we're
horrible.
drinking full.
I was about to say, if you drink
Full
9,
cans.
like
No,
Kevin
you're
might have to
not.
pick you up.
Okay, hashtag Ask the Bench. Who's your favorite American Idol judge, Simon, Randy, or Paula?
It's going to be a no for me.
Does that mean that you like Randy, or you're
I
saying
think-
no?
I mean, Randy's from Baton
think I
Rouge,
like
right?
Randy's from Baton Rouge.
So,
I think-
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Louisiana strong. Let's go.
I
Randy.
think of all of them, Randy is the most likable.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, Simon
Simon's
was
a
like
star.
brutally
It's gotta
honest.
be Simon. It's gotta be
I do
Simon.
miss the brutal honesty of that show. Now it's like everybody's nice.
Mainieri never, or that show never works unless Simon's in the mix.
Yeah.
Hashtag Ask the Bench. If we get swept this series, where does LSU baseball go from here?
Well, technically they go to 1-11. I don't know.
They're
what
already
you,
right now
Yeah,
in the
I mean,
basement.
Well, okay. The implied question is there: would there be a midseason change?
No.
Okay. Hashtag Ask the Bench. Would you rather claim Mississippi or Shreveport, a.k.a. East Dallas, as your hometown? This comes from Emil McCloud.
Oh, who didn't see that one coming?
Oh, yeah, because Emil's so Cajun being from Baton Rouge. I'll go Shreveport because I'm proud. 3-1 great.
What about you, Rivs?
Would I rather claim Mississippi or Shreveport?
Wow, so you hate the 318?
What would you rather? Because you're
would you
the
rather?
farthest away from where we're actually
Yeah,
at right
you
now.
pick.
I have.
Who are you going to side with here?
I have Manny blood, so I'm going to go with the 318.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that.
Hashtag Ask the Bench, snow cone or snowball?
Snow cone where I'm from. Yeah.
In Mississippi, it's snow cone. I grew up saying snow cone. I did not say snowball until the last
cone.
5 years.
It's a snowball.
It's not. I mean, it's not in a ball.
I think it's a geographical thing.
It
kind of is.
Like where
There's
I came,
some of them that are in
no,
a ball,
it's-
though. There's some
you
of
can,
them.
You can
No,
throw
but
that.
some
The
of
shape
them-
it is.
some
It's
of
a
them-
ball.
some of
Yeah,
them-
but where I came from, they came in an actual cone.
Yeah. Yeah. You could get cone or cup.
Of all the conversations that I could struggle to care less about, the snow cone and snowball debate is one of them. I have no dog in this fight. I don't give a crap about either.
And people from
they're
South
both
Louisiana
in.
get mad when you say snow cone.
Yes, they get so mad, and then I
real
get mad because I'm
triggered.
like, relax, dude.
It's
Who
a
cares?
snow cone.
It's just a tasty little
It's just
treat.
not.
That's all I
Chipped
want
ice.
is a tasty little icy treat. Who would win a beer mile out of everyone in the room, including Rivers? I'm not a long distance guy, so not me.
Wait, what was the question?
You're supposed to get drunk and
Who
run a
would-
mile?
I don't know what
you-
a beer mile
You
is.
you chug a beer and then you run a mile.
Who would win a beer
one
mile out
beer?
of everyone in the room?
I don't know, maybe multiple. I don't know. I guess it just depends on what you want your rules
Well,
to be.
I like drinking beer and I like
yeah,
running.
I do
so
too, but you're probably faster than me.
Let's do it. I don't know. I mean,
I don't
I
like
think I
to-
could do
Lost
it. I
a
don't know if
step
I
or
could
two.
do it quick,
I mean, you
quick
could
enough
finish.
to
We
win.
could all
yeah,
finish,
but
yeah.
I mean,
We'd finish.
Danny's over there like, me and Rhonda did that last week and it's not that hard at all.
I don't think one beer would hold you back much.
nah. You gotta have like a pitcher and then go do it.
Hashtag Ask the Bench. Favorite beach?
Favorite beach?
Yeah, favorite beach.
So real
Miami.
quick in there
Miami?
you go. You-
100%.
Wait, did
That's a
Danny
good
say
one.
Miami?
Yeah,
Of course he did.
Yeah.
Of course.
So my father-in-law lives in Panama City Beach. Of course, 30A is right to the west of it,
Yeah.
but they have a pier. It's like a public beach that nobody goes to, and it's like Pier 46, so he calls it 46A. But I love it because nobody's ever there. It's like
Wanna
we
go
have
there?
our own beach.
I love Rosemary Beach, whatever, 30A. But I mean, you can't beat Floribama. Just that like little area right there by the actual
Yeah.
Floribama.
I like all that. I like the whole Gulf Coast. I mean, I'm not gonna.
I'm not gonna hate
I
on
don't
it.
have a
Yeah.
beach. We don't go to
Your
like
skin does not strike me
No,
as skin
no,
that
I-
likes
I've
to
also
be at
never
the
really
beach.
gone back to the same consistent beach as much. I feel like we've just always been.
You're from Atlanta, though.
And then I haven't gone in a while. Yeah, exactly. We didn't grow up like going to the Gulf Coast all the time.
Where'd y'all go? Like the Carolinas?
No, like we did a couple Destin trips, stuff like that. Yeah, Carolinas a little bit, just kind of spread out. And then we just stopped going. That is Off the Bench on this Thursday. Huge thank you to Rivers Huey for coming by for the final hour of the show. Great job producing by Matthew Musso and Danny Cardenas. And for Jake and T-Bob, have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow on Friday's OTB.
OTB, OT.